What's up, guys? How's everything going out there? Had a little hiccup there with the countdown, but it went out okay. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. And we don't need Nelson laughing yet. I see Flat for Life out there, and he says he heard the good news. He was the contest winner for those of you who did not see it yesterday afternoon. Flat for Life won an item from Ranty's Pantry. Congratulations, Flat for Life. And I'll contact you and we'll figure out how the heck to order it. So go ahead, pick something out, man. Pick something out, whatever you want from Ranty's Pantry. Here is the link in here one more time, just in case you don't have it. And you can pick it out. Lots of stuff going on tonight on other channels I saw. So I'm expecting that we might have a light night starting off, but we'll see what happens after that. Just got off the phone with Ranty, and he clicked the button today to transfer control of the channel over to me officially. And he says it took him about 2 minutes to actually click the button. I can't blame him. I've never heard of anybody doing anything like that before, but you know, more power to him. He's an awesome guy. That's why I always liked the show, because you could trust Ranty. You knew Ranty had good intentions, and he just proves it again and again in my book. I'm a big fan anyway. Sorry to see him go, but you know, when you got other desires to do other stuff, other passion, and that's one thing, when you spend a lot of time doing flat earth, you have to be passionate about it. That goes with anything. Like, I don't have to force myself to want to spend time researching and looking at flat earth stuff or anything else I'm interested in. You just naturally want to do it. And if you lose a little bit of that passion, or you get passion for something else, what are you going to do? Force yourself to do it? So he could have walked away and just left it behind or changed it to his other channel, but he wanted to keep the community together and, you know, keep flat earth strong, especially in this time slot. He knows we don't have too many forums. He knows that we have constant trouble with YouTube. It's hard to build another channel. So that was pretty awesome of him all around. And I certainly appreciate it. But anyway, enough about that. If you do want to support the show on Streamlabs, there is a link that I'm going to pop in here. And you can click on that, and it'll take you to the donation page. Relatively easy to do, and it's appreciated. If you really want to support the show, you can come on and give us a presentation. Tell us about something. Show some new clips, evidence, links. Gotten some good stuff lately from Ian Adams and some other folks. Rhett Priestley sent me something interesting. I've got one thing I'll show you today. One of the watchers, is that the right name? I don't know. Somebody sent me regarding that airplane photo that I've been bringing up lately. So that's cool. Smurfer Girl Whatevs came on, gave a presentation yesterday. That was awesome. So anything you can do like that is awesome. Anyway, let's shout out to everybody in the chat. We've got Ian Adams, Brian Mabbott, Smurfer Girl Whatevs, Dagon Morningstar, Hector Ram, Hobbs, Josh the Flat Earth Jedi, Flat for Life, SC Montreal, Bill G, YouTube, Nick, and Allie B, and Page 42. Pretty good crowd to start off with, guys. Hope everything's going good tonight. Let's see. We've got a bunch of people in the Discord too, and I see lights lighting up. So maybe there's a heated conversation. Why don't we pop in there and see? Every time I say that, it turns out that like nobody says anything, but we'll see if it works this time.
Can't even explain what they're meant to be talking about.
It's unbelievable the way he was describing like one line and then to the point, but then from that point it has to go down because the Earth is curved. It's like wow, wow.
It's insane. It's manifest insanity. It's delirium. They've gone over the edge.
Yeah, it's insanity. I mean, that's the only way you
Anything
can put
to
it.
not accept the truth. They're wrong and they know it.
When Gods was talking to him at the end, and he did the he was sort of explaining the two models that he had, and he explained one of them with A, B, and C, and he explained that the first one that the vertical would be parallel to the horizontal here, and here it would the vertical would be perpendicular to the horizontal, and A, B, and C, and that's the flat model, and that's how it works. And I was thinking, yeah, that sounds good. I mean, I'll go along with all of that. And then he goes to the other model, and the first line he draws, he's going up, pointing up into the air, and he says that's a horizontal. It's like that doesn't look very horizontal. And he kept saying this one's pointing up and this one's pointing down, and it's like that's a horizontal. And where does up and down come with a horizontal at each end? How can one end be higher or lower than the other end? It just doesn't make any sense at all.
You know what killed me, Bev? When he said, well, yeah, I have a demonstration of plumb lines being different. And then he whips out a picture of Jupiter or Saturn or something.
When he said that he's invited me to do a test, it was one night while he was on Twitter, and he said, you're invited to come along and dangle a plumb bob in your back window or whatever and take a picture of it. It's like, what is that?
It's ludicrous, bro. It's ludicrous.
Can I just cut in here just for a second, Rob? I just want to apologise for cutting you off earlier when we were over on Emma's server. I just wanted to keep Plato of Bane on point, and I didn't want him distracted from what was going on between him and Bev. So I'm sorry for cutting you off, mate. Didn't mean to, but I just wanted to keep it on point. Sorry, mate.
Yeah, if you're gonna hang out with Primate, get used to it.
What's up, guys? We're live.
What up, Brandon?
There was no need to apologize.
Hey, Brandon.
How you guys doing tonight? We got a full crowd in here to start off the show. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Rob.
Rob's used to being. Bless him. He needs a louder mic. He needs a mic with a boom or a pop as he lights it up.
Yep.
Let's see who we got in the channel. We'll go in reverse order for once. Domesticated Primate, what's up, man?
Yeah, how you doing, Brandon? Nice to be back again. Feels to be like a second home over here at the moment.
Good.
Yeah, enjoying it, mate. Enjoying it.
Awesome. Right the hand. What's going on?
Yeah,
What
nothing
up?
much. Jeremy's the hand.
All right. SC Montreal, what's up, man?
Hey, good evening, Brandon. And a big congratulations, bro, for your new acquisition. Couldn't have happened to a better guy. And shout out, Ranty. You're a class act, bro.
Absolutely. Thank you, SE. Yep. I agree. I was just saying that during the intro.
Toy.
What's that?
I guess we could say Brandon has a new toy.
Oh my, whoa.
Good one.
Good one, he says.
Add it to the pantry, bro.
Oh no. Let's not go down that road. I see where that's headed, SE. You're gonna add toys to the pantry, huh? Rob Keane. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Rakia. Oh, there he is. What's up, man? Oh, no audio.
It's been a good week.
Good. Ranty Flat Earth in the house. What's up, man?
Yo, yo.
We got
How's
Lemon.
it going?
Good. Lemon Bird.
It's so good to be flat.
It is. I agree. Paige. Oh, she's on deafen. Hello. Emma UK, aka Merry Effin' Christmas.
Evening, Brandon.
Good evening, Jimbo.
Hey, and guess what? I posted a picture from the Carleton University in the stairwell that the Foucault's pendulum was pushed from by the good professor because the mortar didn't work. What a joke. But anyway, I put it in the general chat if ever anyone wants to check it out. It's comical.
I'll
These
bring that
frauds.
up. I will bring that up in a minute. Sounds interesting. Jeremy.
What's up? I've been ruining them over at Gems on the Foucault pendulum for days now. Just killing them on it. There's no way. I'll tell you later.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll bring that picture up. You can tell us what your argument is. Gently's channel. What's up, Gently? F Evangelist.
Hey Brandon, how are you?
Good, man. How are you? How is it down there?
Yeah, it's good. I'm just super busy at work, so I'll kind of listen a lot and say not much.
All righty. Cleary.
Hey man, I thought this was Ranty's Pub. What is this, Brandon's Hub now?
Something like that. Brian Mabbott.
Yeah.
Good evening, sir.
And Bev Try Thinking.
It's the place to be now here, Brandon.
Hell yeah. Good place to be. Allie B. Allie, you there? We'll come back to him. All right. So you got a picture for us, huh, Jimbo? Let's see what this is all about. We might as well start off with this. You said in general. I don't see it.
Yeah,
there,
she's a few minutes ago in the general chat, and it's from the hallway view and a little article on this pendulum here in Ottawa that doesn't work, that was pushed by stick for years from a few floors up.
Yeah, I want to see this thing. I don't see it in the general, though.
Is my mic working now, yeah?
Oh, there you are,
I don't see
Allie.
it either.
All right, yeah. How you doing, guys?
What's up? Maybe you put it in a different channel, Jimbo. And I don't see it. So, well, he's looking for that. Jeremy, so what's your argument that you're killing with the ballers with on Foucault? Did you see
here's what.
Smurfers Girls presentation last night?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you should check it out, man. Yeah, she talked about the Foucault for like an hour.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go back. I was on last night's show. I'll have to go back and check it out. But my argument is that the Foucault pendulum is we're seeing the Coriolis effect happen through its precession. They say this is the Coriolis effect. Now the Coriolis effect is a deviation that's supposed to happen from you changing your tangential velocity. You need to change latitudes or height in order for this to happen. So the pendulum swinging back and forth, ever so slowly, changing its latitude every so often, giving you the Coriolis effect and the precession. However, the precession doesn't vary at all. It will vary on latitude from pendulum to pendulum, but the same pendulum's precession at a specific latitude won't vary. Now, if this is the Coriolis effect, it should vary because at some points the pendulum's swinging east-west, and at other points the pendulum is swinging north-south, which would give you a different deviation in the Coriolis effect. That's all.
Well, the Coriolis is a visual effect, and it can't affect the movement of a pendulum. You would have to be spinning around the pendulum, and that would be what caused the visual. But yeah, the Coriolis is observation.
I'm just using the baller's argument against him. That's all.
Well, I'm using the professors pushing on this cord several times a day without people knowing as, the Coriolis or Earth spin or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, it's posted back there now.
Where did you post it, Jumbo?
In general.
You know what? I don't know what's with that link. I clicked it and I get a 404 error, Jimbo.
Hold on.
Okay.
What
Let me
Jeremy
post it right
described
here.
there.
Let me click on you and post it to you.
Okay.
Also, if you're in the inertial reference frame viewing the motion, it is real. You can see it if you're on a roundabout.
Yeah, there's two things we gotta separate here. One is the Coriolis is a visual effect, and they're describing an actual rotation of something. These are two different things, which they conflate, and they get wrong all the time. Because the Coriolis is visual. It cannot affect so much as a fly.
Well, I see. I'd like to disagree with you there because if you're on a roundabout and you
So I
toss the
messaged
ball
you.
up, if you're on a roundabout and you toss the ball up, it's not going to come down in the same spot with the roundabout spinning. It's going to land in a different spot. That's how you're going to get your Coriolis.
We're not talking about that. The actual description of the Coriolis is when something is spinning like the roundabout, right? And you throw a ball. So that ball is traveling in a straight line, but the people underneath the spinning part, these are the people that actually see this Coriolis effect. It's not actual.
It's actual to the people in the non-inertial on the spinning roundabout. It's real to them.
No, it's never actual.
It's never real to them. No, it's a visual effect, bro.
You can plot
you
it
got that
over the
wrong,
roundabout.
Jeremy. Sorry, man, but you got it wrong.
No, yeah, I know, but you can plot coordinates from the ball to the roundabout, and you can see that it actually is deviating underneath it.
No,
incorrect, Jeremy. No, you can't. You can't show it. It's a visual effect, bro.
The coordinates will not. So if you if the merry-go-round is not moving, right, and you throw the ball, and the observer on the merry-go-round, right, he sees the ball. Now you take that ball's direction and coordinates, and then you spin the man looking at it. The coordinates won't change on the ball, but he will see a completely different thing. So.
Yeah, there's no way around that, Jeremy. Sorry, man. It's a visual effect.
The thing is, they're treating it like it's a physical effect where something is being affected on a physical level. Like when you throw the ball in the merry-go-round and you're inside the merry-go-round with the person across from you inside the merry-go-round or whatever, you throw the ball, it will still go on a straight path, but the straight path will be deflected from what it would be without the spin of the merry-go-round. So there has been a deflection, but it's just a straight path. It looks curved, and there has been a deflection, but it's actually a straight path.
Right. The deflection is actually the people turning, not the ball.
So the deflection is caused by the wind going against the spinning system, and it's a straight path. It just looks curved. So it has a visual effect, but an actual physical force that has deflected the ball in a straight path from its path, which would otherwise go straight across the merry-go-round.
Not really. The force is just you throwing the ball. There's no force. You just threw the ball, and the ball is traveling in a straight line.
It's not going straight across because you're trying to throw it straight across the merry-go-round, and it's being deflected in a straight path off to the side. So there was physical deflection, and it looks curved like a curved path to you within the merry-go-round. So there's a visual effect and a physical deflection.
No,
it's only going straight.
Incorrect.
It's only going straight for the people that are in the inertial reference frame. If you're in the non-inertial reference frame, it's curving. There's a deviation.
It's not. It's appearing.
You can see it happen. You can see it happen.
No, you can't. It appears to you that way because you're turning. But if you look at it from a different perspective, that ball is traveling in a straight line, bro.
Yes,
that's
from the
inertial frame. That's where they make their mistake.
From the inertial frame, there's no deviation. But if you are on the non-inertial frame, there is deviation.
No, bro. It appears to deviate. It appears
to be curved. It's an actual straight path that has been deflected from its normal straight path straight across the merry-go-round.
No,
the path
incorrect.
Is straight, but it curves because you're spinning on the non-inertial reference frame. It's not going straight for you because you've moved underneath it.
Yeah, but the ball, if you were on the ball, Jeremy, if you were, let's do a thought experiment. If you were on that ball traveling, right?
Plot the course of the ball. Plot the ball's course.
That's right. Plot the vector.
Now observe the plotted course. Does the plotted course change?
And the answer is no.
Compared to the people in the non-inertial reference frame.
No, not bro. The path of the ball.
People, so the path.
The path of the ball. There's only one path of the ball. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
You get that? If you throw a ball, it only has one path. It can't take 15 paths. It only takes one path. Do we agree?
The ball takes one path. Yep.
Okay, now 10 people observe that one path.
Well,
right?
are they in the inertial or non-inertial reference frame?
You're saying word salad.
Not word salad.
Inertial reference word salad. That's word salad. You have people observing this ball.
That's not word salad.
What is an inertial reference frame? Then what is it? What's an inertial reference frame?
So it's compared to the non-inertial reference frame. It's the one that's not moving or moving at a different speed. The non-inertial one.
What is a reference frame? What is a reference frame?
A point from which you view motion.
Oh, so like an observer.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have 10 observers looking at the one path of the ball. How many different paths of the ball are there?
There's one path of the ball. However, if you're spinning,
even though there's 10, even though there's 10 observers, aka whatever else you want to call them.
Yeah, one path of the ball. Yeah. However,
yeah, exactly. So you have one now. If you take one of those observations,
let me know when I can get a sentence.
And you move. Yeah, because you're getting schooled. When you take one of those observation points and move it, and it observes the continuous non-changing path of the ball, that's what you would describe as quote unquote Coriolis. What it is a moving observation point. The path of the ball never changes. That's why the plotted path of the ball will not change regardless of how many different observers, aka reference frames, aka whatever word else you want to put in it, you have.
Okay, pretend you're on the roundabout and you draw a straight line on the roundabout. And then I throw the ball over that straight line. Go in the straight line to the people on the roundabout, and you're going to be able to see it because it's not going to go with that straight line because the roundabout is spinning underneath the ball. So
Jeremy's not. So you just ignore.
So did you not understand what I said, or did you not understand
what I said? You're not responding to what I said. How many paths?
I don't give a fuck what you said, dude. You're delusional.
Exactly. You're not here to have an intelligent conversation. You're just here to spew.
It goes in one path. The thing is, you're being brought closer to the path and away from the path, and that's being interpreted optically by your eyes as a curve.
Yes.
But the path is straight.
Now you got it. Exactly.
Ding, 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 ding.
Exactly, bro.
And the path is being deflected because normally it would go straight across the merry-go-round, but now it's going straight.
No, you're curving off again.
At a deflected angle.
Lemon's right. Lemon's right.
Oh, he's not right.
It's not going in. I told you could draw a line on the roundabout. Spin the roundabout. Try to throw the ball over the line. It won't go in a straight line because it's spinning underneath you. You're spinning underneath the ball.
I see where you got it wrong. Okay, hold on.
Jeremy,
I see where he's got it, where he's mixed up. Jeremy, take a string, put a ball on it, right? And start spinning it, right? It's going in a circle, right? Now, when you let it go, what happens to that? What trajectory, what vector does it take?
If you let go of the string?
Yeah, you let go of the ball. It's on a string, it's turning, and you let it go. What vector does it take? Does it go in a straight line or does it curve?
A hammer thrower.
It goes in a straight line, Jeremy. I'll put the video in the chat.
So there it is.
It has to go in a straight line because a straight line is the shortest distance between 2 points, and without any other fuel source or effect, a static object being thrown will go in a straight line because it's taking resistance.
If I take a magic marker and draw a straight line on the roundabout and then try to throw the ball over, you think the ball's going to go in that straight line?
Okay, but that's
No, it will be deflected. It will still go in a straight line, but it will go in a deflected straight line that will not go in the straight line that you marked. That's the deviation. A straight line deviation, but a deviation, yes.
Yes.
So
no, from the moment you let go of that ball, Jeremy, it will travel in a straight line.
There will be no deviation in the coordinates of the path of the ball. There would be no change in those. You could plot
absolutely
those
none
the paper, and you can observe that course from 1,000 different observation points. It will never change the coordinates in that plotted path. You're just arguing against that right now. So
that's false. You can look at the video. It goes in a straight path deviation. It's deviated, but in a straight path off to the side. It doesn't go straight across the merry-go-round because of the wind resistance. So if you have resistance from some other frame against the spinning system, it's going to be deflected.
Why don't we let Jimbo
Lemon, get off of it, bro. Get off of it.
Why don't we let Jimbo tell us about these the Foucault pendulum here, what he's got going on?
Well, I'm sharing my screen right now. Let me just try to understand what the disagreement is. Do we all agree on this definition here? The Coriolis? Just ignore the title.
Coriolis is some sort of spinning deflection. The disagreement is whether it's just a visual deflection with no physical thing to go with it, and or is it physical as well?
Well, I mean, it's defined as just visual from the ball's perspective, right? The ball goes straight. If you were looking at it from space, the ball would look straight, or the non-inertial reference frame, the ball goes straight. The whatever that the surface underneath spins. If you're on the actual spinning object looking at the ball, it's going to look like the ball curves away, but the ball's not curving at all. It's still going in a straight line, right? Just
But
like this little graphic
If
here.
you drew a line on
I
the
put the video in the
Brandon,
chat. You can see the straight line path, but it is deflected off to the
Brandon,
side.
if you drew a
I'll
straight
put
line
the
on the
hammer
ground,
throwers video in the chat.
Brandon, if you drew a straight line on the ground and then threw the thing, it wouldn't go in the straight line. I'm not saying this happens on Earth. I'm just saying, and in the roundabout example or the fantasy spinning globe example, if you were to draw a line on Earth and you threw the ball straight or shot a bullet or whatever, the bullet wouldn't follow that path.
Bro, the moment you let go of that ball when you're spinning, it travels in a straight line, bro. You got to understand that.
Yes, in your example, yes, but that's not the same.
In all examples, pick a ball, tie a string to it tomorrow, and see wherever you let it go at the point of release.
Thing, though.
So what is your example, Jeremy?
Jesse.
If the bullet will go, if that would go in a straight line, theoretically, if you're on the merry-go-round and shoot it, what is your example?
Yes, if you're on the merry-go-round, you draw a straight line across the roundabout on the ground, on the floor of the roundabout, and you throw the ball. You try to throw it straight over the line to make the ball go straight. The ball is actually going to deviate for the people in the non-inertial reference frame because the ground is spinning underneath. The straight line is going to spin.
Yeah. But
You're
the ball's
deviating,
actually
bro.
going
Don't
in a
you
straight
get that,
line.
man?
Hold on. The ball is actually going in a straight line, just like this graphic here that I'm showing. The ball always is always going in a straight line. It's just a matter of where you view it from. If you're on the rotating reference frame, then it's gonna look like it curves away, but it's not curving. It's going straight.
But if from the inertial reference frame, it will go straight, yes. But if you're on the non-inertial reference frame spinning, it's not going to go straight because you're spinning underneath the ball.
But Jeremy, that's what you're missing, I think. In absolute terms, the ball is always going in a straight line, no matter where you are.
And that's because we're appealing to the absolute inertial reference frame. So we have a bit of confusion here because we're being brought closer and further away from the spinning ball in the spinning reference frame because we're spinning with the ball's path. And so that is interpreted visually as a curve. The question is whether the spinning system is coming up against a non-spinning system and there is deflection because of it. And there does appear to be a straight path deflection of the ball off from its path, which would be different from if the merry-go-round was not spinning, where it would just go straight across. The same amount of energy put into that same ball, now that it's in a spinning system against a non-spinning system, it's deflected in a straight path, yes, but it's still deflected off to the side.
Now that I agree with Lennon, but that is a different situation. Theoretically taking all these other variables out it, because this would have to be in a vacuum, I believe, for the ball to go exactly in a straight line, or there'd have to be very little resistance. But yes, if there is an atmosphere per se, and we were actually on a rotating Earth, the atmosphere would impact the object. It wouldn't go in a straight line. It would be deviated because of wind resistance and stuff, which is what I think you're saying, Lemon.
Yeah, but there would be no deviation from.
Do we witness this anywhere on Earth?
No, that's the bigger point. Yeah.
No one's advocating that it's really happening on Earth, I don't think.
So whatever the effect is, we don't witness it.
Not Earth-based Coriolis, no. Only constructed artificially, or I can't think of a natural situation.
Coriolis with a water going down a drain. Water will go down the central drain with one swirl in one direction, and then toward the outer edges of that water, you'll get counter whirls. There's your Coriolis right there. They're just trying to explain it with a spinning Earth in the paradigm of a spinning Earth to explain that. But you could explain that with, space itself moving or ether swirling or some sort of other paradigm.
Yes, Lemon. But if we witness that, how would planes ever reach their destination if their destination keeps moving?
If the Earth was moving, yeah, that wouldn't make sense. But if you have, like, I don't know, air, space itself moving over and around and through us in a general direction, you could still have Coriolis swirl while stuff is just basically not moving or deviated very little, if at all. There's other ways to explain this.
But we don't witness it.
So let me go back to Jeremy. Jeremy, do you agree with, now that we've discussed it, or is there still part of this that I'm missing? You're saying it would deviate from the rotating reference frame, but you understand that's just a visual effect and the ball is not actually curving like that.
Yes, the ball's traveling in a straight line. Yes, I've never said otherwise.
Okay.
But for the people spinning, it's a very real deviation. No. Because you would see it happen. You could put, like I said, you could draw the line on the ground and they would see it curving. You throw the ball straight, it curves. It's a real deviation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if it was happening, would chemtrails be curved?
You'd think that they would be, but the thing is, you can still have a straight path of the ball that's deflected. It's just going off to the side and veering at an angle. It's still a straight path. Looks curved within the rotating reference frame. Outside, it looks straight, but it's still a straight path that's cocked and deflected off to the side because of wind resistance, because the spinning reference frame is coming up against an inertial wind that is not spinning.
Yeah, that's a different issue in my mind between the one that Jeremy's talking about. But I will have to disagree with you, Jeremy. I know what you're saying, but the ball is not it is not deflecting. It is not going in a curve. They're moving. That person would be moving in that situation.
Yes, the ball's going in a straight line. Yes, but in the inertial reference frame. But when you're spinning underneath it, you, like I said, you can't throw the ball in a straight line anymore because you're going to be spinning underneath it.
Yeah, it would appear to them that the ball is going in a curved line, but the ball is never deviating. It's always going in a straight line. It's them that's deviating.
It goes in a straight line. Yes.
This is why it makes it easy to talk about things simply, right? You have the ball, you have the observers, right? Now, when you throw the ball has a path. It follows that path. Now, if you take an observer and you spin that observer, it will never change the path of the ball. He might see something that appears like the ball is disappearing because he's spinning his back to it. That doesn't mean the ball is disappearing or stops moving. It just means that particular observer has had a unique observation. So just very simple. Don't need to add reference frames and inertial and all this. The only thing moving would be the ball and then possibly an observer.
Yeah, and the thing is, they haven't asked what is the observer doing relative to this thing to change the way that they would view it. If you're spinning, you're going to impart, spinning and curve to the path, whether or not the thing's actually moving or not. They just, dissolve into this haze of confusion to make the ball possible without saying, well, is this thing really following this path or not? And what is the best reference frame, if any, to give us the most, feasibility? Because we're always referring to the inertial reference frame anyway. So why don't we start with that instead of going with this reference frame or this reference frame? It's just getting confusing.
It is confusing. It's got to be one of the most confusing things we talk about, especially when people start talking about reference frames. Well, as soon as I hear the word reference frame, I just want to barf. Because
we don't really need it, Brandon. We can say it in the simple terms. Look. One thing is spinning, right? Witnessing something that is not spinning, traveling in a straight line. We don't need to use no reference frames, no fancy jargon, no nothing.
Yeah, instead of non-inertial, you can just say spinning, and inertial, you can say not spinning.
Exactly. They use magic words to try to confuse us. And what's inertial, what's non-inertial? No, you don't need that stuff.
Yeah, good point. All right, well, that was a good little... healthy disagreement to start off with. Let me bring up Foucault pendulum picture from Jimbo. So Jimbo, what are we looking at here, man? You there, Jimbo? Maybe checked out on us. All right, we'll come back to that.
Like the precession, if you put a Foucault on a sorry, did you want to go
No,
to somewhere
go
else,
ahead.
or?
Go ahead, Jeremy. You can.
If you were to put a focal on a merry-go-round or roundabout, you would see the procession on the roundabout, because that's what's supposed to have. It's due to the Coriolis effect, the deviation. The deviation is, I mean, that's just what happens if you put a Foucault pendulum on a roundabout. You can see the procession of it because of the deviation.
Only
due to
if
the
the
Coriolis.
base is rotating, pivoting on the center of the roundabout, would you get that effect?
You don't get it anywhere else if you tried to put the Foucault on the side of it. Or I've only seen it in the. I don't know if I've seen it
It
on the side or
cannot
not.
possibly work on the side of anything that's rotating, a sphere or a flat plane rotate. It cannot work because
Only on the axis.
it is all traveling eastward and not rotating.
I'd have to look into that. You could be right.
I've got a video. I'll put it up.
He's definitely right there.
Just don't lose sight that they think that a pendulum is antipodal to the other pendulum and is doing the same thing if it's on the same line of latitude, I believe it is, or longitude. But you know, it's all wizardry. There is no pendulum on the other side of the ball doing the same thing. It's just not.
Shout out Smurfer Girl for she did a good presentation yesterday.
Yeah,
Sorry, I missed that.
What do you know? There's ways to explain things with the things that we actually see, which is electromagnetism, static, you know, all types of things like that we actually observe and can replicate. But, you know, they're trying to use wizardry and say it's something else. It's just not. Don't let it get to you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Jimbo, you there again? We'll try. What's that, Mark or Brian?
I've posted that video of the Foucault's pendulum on the pole. That is the only place it could possibly have the base rotating to get the effect that they say it does. On the side, it is all traveling in a linear momentum.
Yeah.
So it's not. You got.
Help us understand this a little more, Brian. Maybe explain why that is, because I saw that. Mark or Brian?
I've posted that video of the Foucault's pendulum on the pole. That is the only place it could possibly have the base rotating to get the effect that they say it does. On the side, it is all traveling in a linear momentum.
Yeah.
So it's not. You got.
Help us understand this a little more, Brian. Maybe explain why that is, because I saw that some ballers latched onto that and were giving it comments. And to be honest with you, I really don't understand it. I didn't want to get too much into it last night. But why is it that it would only do that at the axis?
It needs the base to rotate because they say the pendulum is just swinging backwards and forwards. So the base has to rotate. Now, if they've got this mounted in a museum, that means the floor of the museum must rotate. The building must rotate for it to give that effect. And anything that isn't on the pole is not rotating. It is all traveling eastwards, allegedly, in their model.
I mean, that's an illustration. I thought you had one of an actual roundabout. I've seen them on an actual roundabout before. I just can't remember if it was on the axis or off to the side.
I was going to do. One of my contractors has got one of these turntables that they wrap pallets of stuff up, And I was going to ask them, see if I could do a little test moving it to the outside of that rotates, because it only goes quite slowly.
Yeah, that'd be good if you could do one, off on the edge of it, and then do one, in the axis, the rotational center of it. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, well, the base isn't rotating then, is it? As soon as you take it off the central point, the base is not rotating.
Because Kosho used to like that thing when there's two guys sitting at a table across from each other, and I don't know what they're using, like a hockey puck or something, and they fling it, and he's like, "Look, this is how hurricanes work," but it's right at the axis of rotation. It's right at the axis.
Exactly, and that's the only place it can work. When the pivot point of the pendulum is directly above the rotation axis.
What would happen? What would the pendulum do if you were, say, away from the axis?
I've never tried it, mate, but what I assume it would do would have a biased or a curved path because of it swinging outwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would I think I understand.
And I think as it goes to the north-south type arrangement, then it would just go, it'd probably go all over the place.
Yeah, I can't find the video now. I saw it so long ago. The guy actually was on a roundabout, and he had one on there. I can't find it.
All they are is a mind trick to convince us all about this ludicrous spinning ficking ball they tell us we live on.
Yeah, no, I agree with. I think we are all in agreement with that for sure. I've never bought into the pendulum. I've even tried it at my house, although it wasn't the most high caliber attempt. I couldn't get it to work at all. I don't think it does. Unless you are pushing it, like what I assume is in Jimbo's picture and was described last night, having someone push the pendulum or have something push the pendulum, and I don't know, it just seems silly.
Yeah, they keep these big pendulums, they keep these in rotation using I don't know what they use, magnets or some kind of a motor or something.
Yeah, you should watch last night's show.
Magnets.
Smurfer Girl talked about the different ways.
Any mechanical device or magnetic device, it could be arranged to give them precession, couldn't it?
Right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Last degree.
Absolutely. If you just have it off a little bit each time, that could be the precession right there. There's other problems with it. There's many problems with it. The point it's connected to, the pivot point. The materials they use are actually, lead's not magnetic, but it is affected by a magnetic field.
Yeah, it's diamagnetic.
You got electrostatics. Yeah, you got.
It doesn't even have to be on that end of the pendulum. They could have a vertical going above that and affect that. I mean, there's hundreds of ways of making it precess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't take much to put that out of alignment, make it go one way or the other, introduce bias into it. And how do you ensure that you've eliminated that bias? So it proceeds as you expect. How do you know that it's not bias causing it to do that?
Thinking about it, it could be just the weight itself could be more curved one side than the other.
Yeah, there's so many flaws with it. You would never know if you had everything ironed out perfectly, precision engineered. It could be the way the magnetic field is on Earth, and the lead is just who knows.
If you look at a crown green bowl, you would think it's perfectly sized either side, but it's not. They actually calibrate them, and they machine one taper slightly sharper than the other to give them the curve.
Cleary says Jeremy is a globe head, $2. All right.
Very funny, Cleary.
Mark Taylor says the Google Foucault pendulum at the pole. I guess I will humor him and do that.
Tell him it's the only place it would work.
Yeah, I think it went the wrong way as far as I know the story of that one. They did it and it went the wrong way. So
did it?
Yeah.
South Pole or
But they do it
North
at the
Pole?
north. There's no South Pole.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus, what the fuck?
But the North Pole's in the water now, isn't it?
Yeah, that would be the other problem. There isn't an actual stationary North Pole, is there? It moves all over the place.
Oh, I can't find a good link for this, Mark. Maybe you can link it in the Discord if you've got a good link to what you want us to look at.
If anyone listening can find the YouTube video of the guy with the Foucault pendulum on the roundabout, that might be good to look at.
Taking back
If we
Eden
don't-
FE, think there could be a North Magnetic Mountain. Anybody care to respond to that?
Mount Moreau.
Magnet Mountain. Get in.
All the compasses point that way, or they point south, and they've just put the little bit of red paint on the opposite end. Who knows?
Our huge metal sheets placed precisely at different points on this plane to control magnetism and other effects, move the sun, etc. It's a mechanical
Jimbo,
design. The iron is out there.
Jimbo, what did you want to say about these guys with the Foucault?
Well, the ones in Ottawa here is a definite fraud, and you know, if I found out you were deceiving people like that for, you know, as long as you were, I'd fire your ass. You know,
Those damn
rename you.
Canadians, Jimbo.
You know, I mean, screw these people with their babble and their pseudoscience and pseudophysics. Get them out.
Well, I don't think they consider it fraud. I think they're just taking what they say would happen at this, you know, position on Earth because of the rotation of the Earth.
No,
They set this
when
pendulum.
you're pushing
Yeah, you
that
cut me
stick
right
every
off.
day, several times a day to mislead people, you're a fraud.
I was agreeing with you, and if you wouldn't have cut
Sorry.
me off like a baller.
Yeah.
But what they're doing is setting us
Passionate.
up to show the public what they say would happen. You know, so them themselves, they don't even think it's a fraud, right? They know, they gotta know, right, that they're adjusting it with these magnets. They even tell you they're adjusting it. You know, if it doesn't process the right way, they'll tweak it and do this and do that until it does. I actually talked to 3 different universities that did the Foucault pendulum or do it as a yearly project. And the people that I talked to openly said that it's really hard to get the right procession. Like, it, you know, it's just like the, you know, all the other tests.
So-
prove that this pendulum moves in a certain.
Oh, you're roboting, I think, right there. But Jimbo, so this is just a little context here. This is at this college, right? Carleton University.
Yep, just down the road from me. Yep.
And this is the one that Smurfer Girl whatevs was saying that the guy pushed, or maybe you said that last night. He actually,
Yes, he went up in those staircases, several floors up, like from where the photo's taken, and was pushing it with a stick several times a day.
how long did he do that for?
I don't know. It might be written how long he did, however long he had to.
Since it's been built.
How do you get that job?
It didn't work.
One of your other duties is to take this stick and push on the pendulum every 3 hours.
And he's one of our grand masters of physics, and people throw themselves at his feet for his fraud. Give me a break.
This guy's got like entourage or what? What are you saying? He's got groupies?
Well, he was the poster child of our National Research Council.
Oh, he's like a bigwig. Okay.
Yeah, he spearheaded this and that. Spearheaded, you know, all these great accolades, eh? To have to push on a pendulum to falsify that the Earth is spinning. What a fraud! What an
That is some
absolute
fraudulent
fraud.
ass shit. You should just report your findings as they come and say, "Oh, well, guess what, guys? It doesn't match up here in Canada or wherever they are. So let's rethink this thing." No, you can push on it with a stick for the next 50 years or however long they've been going.
Does it say in here somewhere that he pushed this thing with a stick, or did they leave that out?
Well, you might want to just email Smurfer Girl, find out what she says, because she's the one who mentioned he was pushed. There she is.
I'm
Hey,
here.
hi, Smurfer Girl.
Hey,
Was he the one
yeah.
pushing it with a stick?
Yeah. remember I read that part last night. They said that he was so impeccable, whatever, with his timing on it, that no one even knew how that it was even happening. I guess he kept it a secret. It's in that article. That article you're scrolling through, is the one that I actually used.
Oh, okay. What's this right here? What's this doing in here?
It's an absolute fraud.
You guys see what's in here? The square and compass. Is this some? Why is that there?
Yeah, I saw that.
Just
That's
random
a link
square
to
and compass.
the PDF, I think, of the entire the blueprints of it.
Oh, the staircase. Oh, okay. So you can build one at home if you want. If you have a 4-story house,
You got to push on it with a stick 3 times a day, or
it comes with the stick. They sell a kit.
it comes with just.
Cool. All right. Well, that's interesting, Jimbo. That's not what I had pictured when she mentioned it.
No, but it's just one that's a 100% fraud from the get-go.
Yeah, for
That's
sure.
just one of them.
Did they find this guy out and now they know the real procession, or what's going on with it now?
They're probably still licking his heels and toe jam.
They still got the stick
He's
out.
a great one. I mean, he's got his FUD, his PhD. He's National Research Council. He's all these great things. He's just
Well, if he's
that
got
good.
a PhD, I mean, then yeah.
All right. It was 55 feet up. 6 stories, 5 stories.
I wonder if there's a pendulum pushing stick on eBay.
Oh my god!
I can sell you one. It's expensive, Brian, but I'll
I
get you a very good deal.
They're called
Well, the
Hefner
other
sticks.
The one from Louisville, it says that once in a while they'll have to push it with a stick on theirs too, with a 2x4, something like that. I don't know. I found the little paragraph that says it. It says, for a short study period in the fall of 1970, after initial construction, the pendulum had no drive circuit and was kept in motion by Mr. Hafner, imparting a push with a 2-meter stick while leaning over the stair railing several floors up several times a day. Apparently, no one was aware of this initial power source, given its reliable nature.
That could sway it, one way or the other. I've heard when they let these things
sway
go.
it. That's good.
I've heard when they let these things go, they have a rope tied to it, and then they burn the rope so that there's no no one interferes with it going either way.
Right. That's how Foucault himself is said to have done it, like pulling it back and tying it with the string, and then waiting for all the vibration to be gone, and then burning that with a candle.
Yeah, that way you don't interfere with it going one way or the other. Yeah, you can't be pushing it with a stick. Jesus.
Right. But they don't mention that made the procession off or anything at all. That's not even a factor.
Taking Back Eden FE, nose in the center of face contains magnetite. I'm not exactly sure what that means. Nose in center of face contains magnetite. Huh. Yeah, explain that a little bit more. Taking Back
Talking
Eden.
about Mount Meru in the North Pole. I don't know.
Magnetite is a magnetic sort of mineral. It's found in animals that migrate and do geolocation or whatever to know where to migrate. I didn't know that the human nose had magnetite. I thought that it was like in birds and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe we have it too.
No, we do.
Even a little electromagnetism at each of the pins that it wants to knock down would attract the pendulum. A mortar to keep it going back and forth, and a little bit of a magnetic charge on the pins that it wants to knock over, and it'll deflect it. There's so many ways to fake that thing. Have a little air current blowing from the right direction.
Yeah, you got your
any number of ways to falsify that bullshit experiment, they call it, in proof of Earth spin.
Well, I'll be darned. Taking Back Eden is right. Learn something every day. The tiny magnetite compass in the human nose. Scientists at Caltech discovered that humans possess a tiny, shiny crystal of magnetite in the ethmoid bone, pink bone in the image. Okay.
What are they saying? We can smell the North Pole, or?
Who put that
We have
there?
metal inside of us that can align to the North Pole and give us a form of geolocation, that sort of thing.
Why not?
It says, as tiny compass needles, allowing them, the bacteria, to orient themselves in the Earth magnetic field and swim. Oh, they're talking about something else. So this thing, we have a freaking compass in our nose.
So we have the hardware, but we lack
spinning
the
as well.
software.
Somebody needs to call the rock, tell him we can't smell what he's cooking, but we can smell the North Pole, though.
Yeah, but if we have the hardware, that means we lack the software. We don't have that connection in the brain.
I've seen a study where a human will walk in a circle in a wide open space. Like if you just set them off in a path, they'll.
Yeah, but that's because your gait. That's because of your gait. Your one leg always takes a longer stride than the other.
And the other.
Is that what it is? I just knew I'd seen that
Yes,
study a
indeedy.
long time ago.
I'm looking for it in an
Just like
article
you're
where it
either
says
right-
why we have this, why they think we have it, but it's not saying it. They say it was helpful in human evolution as it made migration and hunting easier. Okay.
Shout out to Brandon.
Okie doke. Here,
Wow.
let me sense this elephant with my nose magnet here.
Shout out to Flat for Life. Thanks for the $10 super chat, brother. Appreciate that.
A link to that article in the YouTube chat.
That's like,
yeah, let me put that out there.
yeah, that's like when Flat Earth Matt said that, you know, gravity helped cavemen to survive because it held fire in the caves and stuff like that, you know. Without gravity, they couldn't have stayed warm in the caves.
Yeah, how do they know
That's how
that?
birds do it, right? With their, they have supposedly in their, is it in their ears, where they have this thing
In the
that they
brain.
like, sorry,
A lot of animals, it's in the brain.
it's in the brain. Okay,
Right in the brain,
so the
yeah.
animals can do it. Maybe we have the, like I said before, maybe we have the hardware, but we lost the software somehow.
Whales, salmon, turtle, dolphins.
Yeah.
So if they blindfold you and spin you round, would you be able to point to north?
Good question, Brian. Not me, anyway.
Only if someone rubs you with cat fur and magnetizes you.
Well, we need
That's
to
a
do like
joke.
a scientific. Well, we'd have to do like a scientific experiment, you know, like see what happens if we do that to like 100 people and see the average of how often they can, you know, find true north when blindfolded. Or...
Lemon, your mic's coming in and out. It's you're dropping in and out for some reason.
Oh, worst mic ever.
I'll tell you what, my missus can get lost just around the corner, so I don't know how that works.
Most people get lost in a modern shopping mall because they're made like mazes to get you lost.
I do feel like I can tell which direction is which direction. But I think it has
With
more to
your
do
own
with
show.
just knowing your surroundings than any magnet
Yeah.
in my nose.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, try shutting your eyes, Brandon, then
Go to somewhere you've never been before. Close your eyes again if you have somebody bring you somewhere, and then spin around a couple times, and you know, we'll see if you can tell where north is.
Well, I have a spinning chair, so we could do an experiment right now. I'll spin myself
Yeah,
around.
blindfold.
Yeah. There we go.
I'll tell you what.
I've always thought of an experiment on a train doing similar things with a spinning chair and blindfolded. Get the train, obviously, get it up to speed, and then spin people round and see if they can detect which way the train is moving.
Well, that's an interesting thought. We've got a $2 super chat from Cleary. We are horizontal equilibrium beings. Hebs.
Yeah. Because if the Earth's spinning, surely we would detect that. So if a train's moving at, say, 100 miles an hour, I'm sure our senses would pick that up.
I would think so. I mean, I just can't. Call it incredulity all you want. I don't think I can be moving at 1,000 miles an hour and not notice it at all, or change hundreds of miles an hour when I go from one place to another, and there be no sensory feedback on that whatsoever.
I can't face backwards on a train. Now, whether that's a visual thing or what, I don't know, but I have to be facing forward.
Yeah, I've never looked into. I know there's been studies that people have done, or just tests where they run up and down a train, or sense that different stuff, but I haven't been on a train or a bus since I became a flat earther. I've always wanted to run down the aisle and see if it's easier to go one way or the other. I haven't done that myself. But Taking Back Eden FE maybe got some more information for us. $20 super chat. Thanks, man.
No question. Yes, it's easier to move to the back of the bus when it's in motion, harder to walk forward to the driver.
Yeah.
You have to overcome energy going forward, and you're really getting a lot back when you move to the back of the bus again. No question.
Okay.
It's harder to move forward in the bus when it's moving and easier to move back to your seat.
Gotcha. All right.
Same with the train.
Taking Back Eden says, eyes, sclera, white ice wall, iris, land and sea, green, brown, blue, pupil black like the black magnetic mountain, like the nose, in the center of the plane, eye, tears, salty like the ocean, lens firmament, beard, ice wall. That was almost...
Yeah, he's inferring that we're living on the eye of Odin, the great giant, and we're on one of his eyeballs, basically. And that's Norse legend and stuff. But we're living on one eyeball of a Norse god.
Well, aren't all the old maps up to 1565 drawn like that? There's an outer, they show like the outer land, then the continents, and then there's 4 pieces of land right in the middle where the 4 rivers come out, and then there's a mountain there.
Yes.
Has anybody else,
yes.
has anybody else seen that?
My sons play this game called Fortnite, and the map looks exactly like that.
There's a big famous map. I'm showing it on my screen right now. And I used to know the name. It is called the Urbano Monte. I think that's what you're talking about, Chad. Can you see it? Or am I not sharing the right window again?
No, we got it. We got it.
Okay. Yeah, that's the Urbano Monte.
It certainly would answer a few questions, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah. Why did he go out about making a map that looks like this? Why is there a void in the center of the plane around the North Pole where there's nothing? It's just water. It's just, come on.
It might be part of an aquifer
Hey, this is
system
Grandpa
or a pump where it
Fiddlebone
drains
here.
out
If
and then
anybody
gets
here
flushed
has any
back out somewhere else.
questions or comments or
That's kind of what I
concerns,
suspect, that this is like a big filtering system.
This is Grandpa
with the
Fiddlebone.
oceans and the fresh water.
These masons have been digging this Oak Island, trying to solve this so-called Oak Island mystery. And this little island off Nova Scotia, they think has a bunch of gold and everything, and tunnels and everything that were constructed and whatever to hide these reserves and et cetera, et cetera. But I've seen a lot of what they're at and where they're at on this island. And it really looks more like a place to make the purest water you can find, and in large quantities for whatever reason. It really looks like just a filtration system in place. They keep trying to pump out water, and they're surrounded by the sea, but they have nothing but fresh water that keeps pouring back in, and it makes it a nightmare for them. They're trying to dig through mud and garbage and hoping to find all this gold, and they just might be on a really well-designed aquifer system that's made to purify and filter water. That's what I'm thinking it is there. Not a big gold thing, nothing like that.
I think they might have Eden in the north on the mountain of God, Mount Meru, and that it's this big magnetic mountain that leads back home if people, follow their compasses there, back to Eden. The maps show 4 rivers leading from it.
I'll wait for your
Very similar
postcard
to
there,
Eden.
Lemon. Send me a postcard from the edge when you get there.
Well, there's lack of satellite coverage in the north and the south, so we really don't know what's up there. You guys remember that YouTube video that looked like there was some sort of huge electrical storm churning into the Earth itself? And it looked like maybe it could have been somewhere on the Earth. Maybe that's the North Pole. Maybe
Well,
it's
that's
just
been just CGI too from, Russia and Soyuz and other stuff there. Who knows? CGI, it's been around a long time. I've seen that and, I was super amazed by it when I first saw it. But critically thinking a bit, you got to be critical. You got to say the chances are it's bullshit. CGI. That's the real chances of that one being, this hole and this cosmic vortex sucking into the North Pole that they showed in that little clip.
I tend to agree with you, Jimbo. Nonetheless, it is an interesting video if no one's seen it. I'm looking for it right now.
Yep. And so were the creatures crawling up the sides of buildings in Russia that no one could see, and they had legs the size of phone posts. They looked very real, but they were made on Blender.
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
go
that's
figure.
how you
They fooled millions of
define
people.
knowledge. Usually define knowledge within certain parameters. We say that this can't be knowable because within the parameters and the boundaries that we've defined, this does not count as knowledge, and anything outside of this is impossible. But we'll have to see. It could be CGI, or maybe it could be something more.
Why don't we go to the North Pole and find out how hard can it be to get to the North Pole? We can go all the way. How far? We can go to 78 degrees. There's a town in 78-degree north latitude.
Yeah, there's a bunch of Inuit people who would like to send drones farther north and find out more, but they've been
I think it's my
locked
Hot
down by the
Topic server is
government,
what
and
kicked
the
off
law passed that they're not allowed to do that.
kicked off
What?
all of
Really?
this
So why don't we? Because
explosion
they
of
keep
server
shooting
creation.
us down.
Who is this? I haven't heard about this.
Worse.
Oh boy.
It's even worse
Inuit
than the
people
Antarctic
often-
Treaty.
Well, I didn't even think about that. Having the Inuit send drones to the North Pole. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, the
You guys should
Inuits
have
up
kept my
north, if you look up Inuit long distance drones, you'll find their company, what they make.
kept my
and
hot, you guys should have kept my
besides,
Hot
the
Topic
Canadian
server
government
going
passed
when I
laws
had to
against
take off.
flying them north. End of story. And they probably spend millions to develop their business and stuff. You know what I'm saying? With probably some interest like that at heart, at the root, maybe wanting to send some north. These
I
are
think you'll
longer-
find the video if you search for Hollow Earth. It's under the Hollow Earth banner. If you're looking on YouTube, assuming YouTube hasn't scrubbed it or buried it in the feed. Because if you go Hollow Earth, I think you'll see the video where it looks like there's some sort of huge electrical churning somewhere on the Earth. I'd say it's probably at the North Pole.
Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah,
now.
it's real
I searched for
far.
North Pole whirlpool. That didn't work. I'm looking at Hollow Earth now, but I can't find it. If anybody has it out there.
Soyuz view or something. It's from the Soyuz.
Oh, that's what it was supposedly from, the Soyuz?
Soyuz, what do they call it?
Well, that's right. It's a NASA thing, isn't it? Oh,
Well,
shit.
this was Soyuz anyway.
Even more reason to not believe it.
Even the liar can tell the truth. You just verify what the liar says against a third party.
Yeah, true.
Is Travis around?
I don't think he's in here tonight, no.
Damn. Oh well. Oh, I've got some fun for him. He might enjoy this. I could do it, but I think it'll be funny if he does it.
Ooh, the Easter band?
Mr. Etherband, yeah. I was watching Agree to Disagree last night, and I was in the chat, and I asked Conspiracy Cats in front of his audience there, could he tell us what the inferior mirage is? So he brought out a bit of a PowerPoint that he'd been doing, and he showed that, and and he talked us through what he thought the inferior mirage was, and I had to laugh. I seriously had to laugh. I told him he was wrong anyway, so there we go. But tonight, I just hopped on there now. I wasn't on the show. I was just in the chat listening. And Seek Truth, Speak Truth was on there. We had another guy called Flat Turd. Anyway, so I asked them with Conspiracy Cats there as well. Flat Turd said it was diffraction. Seek Truth, Speak Truth said, oh, well, if Conspiracy Cats answered it last night, then I don't need to answer it. And Conspiracy Cats got it wrong last night, so what can I say? But I can show you, I can forward you the clip to play at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, I
It's
managed
hilarious.
to destroy the Soyuz view of that, cosmic cloud over the North Pole thingy.
Huh? What?
Oh,
What
you
happened
found
there?
it?
Did we?
Yeah, I sent a direct message to you because what I'm putting in the general chat's not showing up.
Yeah, we've got you filtered out, Jumbo.
Did someone just say my name?
Whoa.
Say my name. Say my name. You were listening.
Yeah, I was. I had fallen asleep. I had fallen asleep at my stop, and then I woke up, and I was in the chat a little bit. But what's up?
Oh,
Let's
well,
have it. Speak of the devil.
Speak of the devil, and he shall arrive.
He shall arrive.
Right. Do you want me to share my screen then? I'll play a clip from last night with what Conspiracy Cats thinks the inferior mirage is.
Go for it.
Tell me when you're ready there. Are you there to watch this, Travis?
Hold on, just real quick. Give me like 30 seconds.
No worries.
Oh, hey, Ranty Critical Think says if Ranty says Cat's got it wrong, then Ranty is probably wrong.
Well, I'll play the video and let you guys decide. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll hold my hands up. But it's possible I'm wrong. But right. Let us know when you're ready to watch this.
All right, we got blue squares so far. Does anybody else see it? Oh, there we go. Got it.
Okay. You got it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm back. I'm
All right.
hoping that'll be the fix.
So let me show Ranty about the inferior.
Anyway, yeah, sorry.
It's not
I'll
working,
give you the
sorry.
screen. I'll give you the.
I'll screenshot that. So this is obviously going to be the formation of an inferior mirage. Obviously, when light is traveling through the air, if depending on where the hotter is and where the colder is, the light is either going to bend or refract or change direction towards or away from the normal in quite a predictive manner. This is a nice little diagram here, which means that we're seeing things that should be in the sky, right? For example, here, we're seeing things that should be in the sky a little bit lower down. And if I show some pictures of that, I'm not going to do a whole lecture on it, but this was my PowerPoint. This is what I prepared for old Howard, who...
Hang on, you mean you brought evidence to a debate?
I brought evidence to a debate, yeah. Everyone's getting to see my stuff now. And there we go. So this would be an example. I did this for the Plain Truths, because the Plain Truth talks about mirages, etc., and things going over the ocean. Well, if we're looking at an inferior mirage, we've got the sky that's reflecting in the bottom, and we get this sort of effect of like an absence of sea or an absence of land, and things sort of disappearing in a very non
I mean, I've got to stop it there at the minute. I mean, yeah, can you see what the images that he's showing for an inferior mirage?
Yeah.
Look at this.
Oh my gosh.
Does anybody here think that's an inferior mirage?
Well, I have made comments on this. In that I have made comments that the sky is miraged to the left or the right when you do have an inferior mirage. Like, say for instance, the only thing that's missing in this to be a full-blown inferior mirage is the inverted image of the sailboat. So that's the only anomaly here. But this image is on the website for Georgia State University on their optics. They use this as a demonstration of a superior mirage because that boat is actually behind the curve, and it's being loomed up, right? So, I mean, what I have said about this is that we have seen other images like that golf tournament image with the ship in the background, where you have no inverted image on the boat, but you have a clear band underneath the boat. And so what I've said is I think that this is just simply a miscategorized refractive distortion.
And I would agree there. There's no way in a million years that this is an inferior mirage. Absolutely no way.
Talks about mirages.
Let me just pause that and go to the next image that pops up too, which is the road. I mean, this is just a reflection off the road. I mean, it gets just it. But now I understand why he keeps playing the boat of mine that shows the inferior mirage without understanding what it means. He goes on in a bit to explain what he thinks you should see when you see an inferior mirage, but it's clear to me that he thinks that you should always see this kind of thing. Anybody?
He thinks that you should see what you should always see what kind of thing? That blue area there?
Yeah, this kind of like this reflection off the like the boat. If we go back to the boat and we look at the boat with the sky underneath it, I believe that what he's trying to say is that you can only classify something like this as an inferior mirage.
Inferior
Well, I
mirage
wouldn't even
just means that the fake image is below the real thing above, and superior means that the real thing is below and the fake image is above. Superior is above, inferior is below. So he's saying there's some sort of fake image below the real thing that's really generating, or quote unquote more directly generating the image. So by a rough definition, it would, I guess, be an inferior mirage since it's underneath the true image of the sky or whatever, I guess.
What do you think, Travis?
I was just going to say that I don't think I would classify this as an inferior mirage because you don't have enough of an image inverted on itself. I would just say that you're looking over a hot road and you've got the evaporation that's creating the image. But I wouldn't qualify this. I don't see anything right now that's because you've got what.
Well, yeah, you're right there because from normally what you'd see from right to left is you'd see the inferior mirage throughout the whole image, and you'd see things repeated out. It's clear that there's that's not happening in this, and that's just a reflection off the road. So
yeah, and again, I think he got this image from the same Georgia State University website because they had a lot of these images that are like this.
Well, the reflection could be such that you're getting the sky reflected and it's coming below, giving you an inferior mirage. At that point, the mirage would be generated by the reflective air layer coming off the road. But who knows?
Well, yeah, that's true to a certain extent. But if you look down the middle of the road at the very horizon, you've got this very ghost-like image, and then to the left, you've got another dark, like a bush that's out that far. So there's not a complete diffraction of the image at that point of convergence. Like you don't have this complete swallowing up of. I mean, if you lowered your perspective, I think you might wash it out. But I don't know. I just wouldn't classify this as an inferior mirage.
No,
it looks like it's because the road is generating the heat layer, but the ground isn't. So the phenomena is only being demonstrated off of the road. So you're not getting a full, inferior mirage through the whole, frame, only on the road.
Yeah, I still don't see that as being accurate because what you would see is you would see something in the distance that you can see, and you would definitely see a mirror image of it underneath, inverted. It would be upside down. So you would literally be placing a mirror on that. So if you were looking at a building, you'd see it upside down, half of it upside down, half of it the right way up. And we don't see that. That's what an inferior mirage is. You'd be able to see that. Just the reflection of the sky isn't proof of an inferior mirage. You need to see something with an inferior mirage on it. You need to see the reflection. You're not seeing that.
Well, here too, one interesting to note is that the road has a much different temperature, higher temperature than the desert around it. And all that sort of mirrory haze is above the road and not the desert.
I mean,
Yeah.
Travis and I have hundreds of images of what an inferior mirage is that are far, far better to demonstrate than this, Anyway, let me play the video a little bit more.
This is a very non-defined horizon. This is a very weird looking horizon because we're seeing the sky. Here again, it's a very non-defined horizon that we're seeing the sky.
Well, actually, that image that was just played there is a pretty good example of an inferior mirage, actually. There we go. Because there you see the boat. Can you see the top part of the boat? You can see the boat. The inferior mirage runs through the center, and then the bottom of the boat is repeated underneath. So you can see a mirror image underneath, inverted, so that you can definitely see that that's where the line is. That if Travis's ether band would be here, am I right?
Yeah. But the other thing that I would say is that even to the left and to the right of the boat, the sky. So if you look at the inverted image of the boat that's upside down, if you go to the left of that, that's mirrored sky. If you go to the right of that, that's mirrored sky. So
yeah, but it's not. It's also the water. The water's still peering through the sky.
Right. No. Yeah. Well, at that point, right, you've got that. Yeah, but that just has to do with angles. If you were to lower your angle, I think that would wash out.
Ranty, put your cursor where you think the water is in that picture.
Probably up here somewhere. Probably way up there.
Yeah, that's the hard part on how to explain people, because the water goes way past the boat, correct?
Yeah.
So it would appear to be higher than that boat, but it's not. That boat is floating on the water. Now show me where the cursor is, where the water is, where the boat is.
Oh, that will probably be around about here, I would say.
Right where the Miragin is, basically.
No, probably a bit lower.
A little below, yeah, but about where that is. Right.
Yeah,
but higher than the actual water.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with you total. The water keeps going. It appears to keep going up due to angle, but we know that boat is floating on water. That's what people can't grasp. They just can't see it.
So Conspiracy Cats is going to round it up by telling us why he thinks, well, just listen.
Here again, it's a very non-defined horizon that we see in the sky. But what we don't get with an inferior mirage, oh man, where am I going to have to go? What we don't get, and I put this to Travis, what we don't ever get with an inferior mirage is tell me I've got the picture. Oh, if I haven't got the picture, I'm going to cry. I'm going to find it.
I just want to see the flying boat again.
Well, I mean, if we look at this one, this is right. I'm not. This was sort of like Ranty's picture, but the thing is, if there was a mirage sort of here that was somehow hiding the boat, it would be something that, if it was an inferior mirage, it would be the sky that we'd be seeing.
It would be the sky that we're seeing. Did you hear that? So he thinks that the only way you can classify an inferior mirage is if you can see the sky. Right? No word of a lie. There's literally an inferior mirage right where my cursor is there. Can you see this boat? Now, I've tracked it all the way. You can actually see the cut-off part of the boat here. I tracked this. It's a very famous boat tracking that I did. You can see the white part of the boat here and the white part repeated there. And the center part is the middle of the red part. And the line runs right through it. Right? That is where the inferior mirage is. Right?
But I think he's saying that because you don't have sky underneath that image of the ship.
Yep.
He thinks that that's a solid unit of the ship. Yeah.
Yeah. So what he's classifying an inferior mirage as being is if you can see the sky reflected off the surface. Now, because he can't see the sky reflected off the surface here, he doesn't class this as an inferior mirage. But if we go back to the other images that we were showing, where we see the boat, obviously, what looks like it's flying, and we've got the hot surface of the road reflecting the sky, he thinks that's an inferior mirage, but he thinks that this doesn't classify as an inferior mirage because the dark water here doesn't have any reflection of the sky above it. And I couldn't believe what I heard when I heard him say this. But it explained a lot why he keeps playing this video and saying there's a boat going over the horizon when it's absolutely demonstrably clear that there's a huge inferior mirage on the boat here where the cursor is.
Yeah. Well, that's what you get when you get people who don't go out and take their own images.
Let me play that part again. Here we go.
Here that was somehow hiding the boat, it would be something that, if it was an inferior mirage, it would be the sky that we'd be seeing.
It would be the sky that we're seeing. It's just so wrong. It's so wrong on every level. Right. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. When I heard this last night, I told him he was wrong. But there you go.
Good stuff. Interesting.
They think everything obstructed is curve, and they just can't see that it could be the atmosphere doing it for some reason.
I was actually this past week going over some footage at the Chesapeake Bay, and I was actually working on images just like this with sailboats, because I've got images where the sail is inverted on itself and it goes down into the water, so it looks like it's a complete sail. And so then you think, well, where's the hull? Right? I can see the sail, but where's the hull? So in their world, it's below the water. But I'm demonstrating with other images as contrasts, showing that the sail is inverted on itself, and you have to understand that the hull is there in that fold line, swallowed up in the mirage.
All right.
Yeah, they don't like to think that things can get swallowed in the mirage. I mean, I think it took years for the Rumpus to actually agree to that, and then he's turned around and said, "Oh no, I've been saying that for years." He hadn't. He had not been saying that. Travis, back me up on that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I couldn't point you to the exact show, but I can remember being shut down immediately when I first came on the scene talking about that very thing. I was told left and right, no. So I wouldn't put it past him to have been that one of those naysayers.
Well, then they'd have to admit that things can be obstructed from the bottom up. So that's a tough pill to swallow for sure.
I think that was Ali B, wasn't it? That was dogs in the background.
No, that was me. That's why I muted for a minute. But yeah. Okay, my mother-in-law's in town. She brought her little yippy dog with her. There it is again. Is it loud? Is it coming through the microphone loud?
You little tosser, Ranty. I didn't understand what inferior mirage was until I.
There he was. You
little wanker. I understood the mechanics of this 3 years ago. I've done the equations. I knew this exactly, and you didn't even understand what a mirage was. You still don't understand what a mirage was. You're a moron, and now you've admitted you've got a terrible memory, and you just demonstrated it. I understood the mechanics and the maths behind this many years ago and explained it to other people. You're getting me confused with other people. I explained it to you. You didn't know what the hell was. You still don't know what the hell's going on. And I explained that with them, I've got the maths to demonstrate this. I've got a document that's 3 years old now that demonstrates this before you even understood a micro millimeter of this. Jesus Christ, you've got a memory like a goldfish.
Did you used to? Were you the first person to tell us that things could be hidden from the bottom up with the inferior mirage? Then, seeing as you knew all this,
I have no idea. Someone else may have mentioned it before me. I certainly mentioned this before you even understood what an inferior. Well, you still don't understand what an inferior mirage is. You still get confused about the temperature gradient. You still think you've got sinking going on. You don't understand any of the issues to this. Whereas I've actually got mathematical models that reproduce exactly what Anthony Riley took at the Isle of Man. Means I can produce.
To the days,
I
Rumpus,
can
when
produce
you get out
images
on the field and take these images yourself, and you think I've got to throw away all that math now.
I can
I
can show you images that I've created with the maths that I've done that
Okay,
exactly
Rumpus,
listen.
when you
Five
get
more
out
seconds.
on the
5
field
more
with
seconds,
a
then you get your
camera
turn,
and
Travis.
see this stuff for
Wait
yourself,
for
and
your
then
turn.
throw all your maths away.
Try and take turns. My mathematics brings about the same image that Anthony Riley did with his inferior mirage case and with his super looming case. So
but you didn't tell anybody, did you, Rumpus? You didn't tell anybody that anything beneath that inferior mirage on the lighthouse was hidden by the inferior mirage and not by Earth curve, did you now?
I didn't make that explicitly clear.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Not very early on, but I later.
No, you didn't.
No, once I'd done the maths, I did.
No, you
But
didn't.
the
Bullshit.
very first part. Well, you didn't. Ranty, you know nothing about
No,
this subject.
you didn't.
You
didn't
have
do it.
misremembered it as usual because
In
you
fact,
always get everything
Do you
wrong.
know? Do you know it was the
always
lighthouse?
get everything wrong.
Do you know it was the lighthouse on the Isle of Man that made me start looking into the inferior mirage and why that inferior mirage was running through it and why we weren't able to see the very bottom of the lighthouse? Forget the fact that we were able to see the top of the lighthouse that should have been hidden on your globe. Mathematics,
Yeah,
but
without
we were looking for
refraction,
the
yeah.
bottom. But yeah, but we were looking for the bottom. You know,
Yeah.
because we're flat earthers here. We're not just saying things looming. We're looking for answers here, and
No,
we
you're not.
realized there was a line running through that. And what was it? It was an inferior mirage. So could it be that the inferior mirage was hiding the bottom of the lighthouse, and that's what
Miles
first...
Davis.
Hold
Miles.
on. Let me finish. That was what started my quest into looking into the inferior mirage. And if you say that you had this document 3 years ago and you understood that things could be hidden behind the inferior mirage 3 years ago, then that was pre the Isle of Man. That was pre Isle of Man. Yes.
Two and a half.
Pre Isle of Man.
2.5.
Pre Isle of Man.
2.5.
So pre Isle of Man.
No, 2.5 is not pre Isle of Man.
Well, okay. All right. So if you're going to change it, you've changed it from three now to
I thought
2.5.
up, you can't cope with fractions.
I wasn't telling people that things could be hidden by the inferior mirage. It was around about, I'd say, 2 years ago.
Yeah, I know, because you were behind the curve. Yeah, I know.
So why weren't you telling us then? Hold on.
Listen, hold on, let me give you the chronology.
Why weren't you telling us?
Do you know who the first person was to spot?
Hold on.
Hold on. Who do you think was the first person? It wasn't me, actually, who spotted that the bottom of the lighthouse was an inferior mirage and not the bottom of the lighthouse.
I was the first person.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't.
I saw the image.
No, you weren't.
Hold on.
No, you weren't. Do you want to give you the name? It was
Do you want me to-
Miles Davis. It was
No.
Miles Davis.
Do you
And
want me to tell you-
he did
Hold
observations
on.
after Anthony's initial one in October
Listen,
17.
I
and
don't want
he
to be
showed-
rude,
Go on,
but
Ed.
you're talking over me when I'm
Yeah, well, you
trying
won't
to
be talking
explain
me.
to you.
Well,
that
how many
I saw
minutes are you going to go monologuing before I get a chance to answer?
I saw the images of the Isle of Man before you. I saw the images of the Isle of Man.
Of course you did.
Before Miles Davis.
Yes,
in
but
fact,
you didn't come to the conclusion. Yeah,
in fact,
you-
can I finish?
For Christ's sake, I'm not being allowed to answer here.
God, let
Because
him
I haven't
finish,
finished.
because he's
Well,
not
God, how long are you
finished.
going to go on for before I'm allowed to make
Just
another
stop
response?
as long as he needs to.
No, he can't
Stop.
go on for 5-10 minutes without me making a response to 10 points.
Yes, he bloody well can if he wants to.
Well, I mean, okay, he doesn't want to debate here.
Right, so I put the composite together. I took the imagery, I put the composite together. I changed the contrasts on it. As I changed the contrasts on it, the inferior mirage became more evident. I discussed this with Anthony Riley and Nathan Oakley and whoever else we were working with at the time. I forget his name now, but some guy that disappeared off the face of the planet. Anyway, and I discussed it with these about the inferior mirage. And this was before it was even... Hold on. This was before it was even put out to anybody. So if you're going to go and say who's the first person to spot the inferior mirage, then that was me.
No, it wasn't. Because you did not start discussing.
I've just
that
walked you
until
through
much later.
how
Right,
it
here
could
we go.
have
Here's the
not been
chronology.
Miles
of it.
Davis.
You made up that composite. You made up that composite. Agreed. And it was the worst composite anybody could have made. You misaligned everything. You got everything. You had the water going uphill, if you remember. It was the most appalling composite anybody could have made. A child of 11 could have done a better job. So that you couldn't have come to any conclusions about inferior mirage because it was so appalling. And
Let
you
me see
did
if I
not
can get that
describe the
inferior.
inferior
Let me see
mirage
if I can get the
until
image.
There was 3 months of analysis, Ranty, before you started making noises about inferior mirages, and Miles Davis did. You did not precede Miles Davis. You had the pictures first, but you didn't do the analysis properly first. You didn't even have a proper picture. It was only when me and Gia Strieber realigned all those composite elements. We
How long
actually
are
ended up with
you
something
going to
quite
go on for?
Yeah, well, I didn't compare with Ranty. Jesus Christ, and I had lots of useful
No,
points
you
to make.
went like 10 times longer, so no
I
comparison
didn't,
at all.
you're
You're right.
not getting it. I'm afraid, Paige, you're just too biased, I'm afraid. You're not objective here.
Yeah, Rumpus knows nothing. That composite, you couldn't have done the composite any better.
I did.
In fact, well, you haven't.
I did.
Do you want to? Do you want to bring it up? Yours against mine?
Okay.
Right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Go on then.
Okay. Let me just bring up my document. I have to bring up my. I don't think I've got that running. Okay. Give me a second. It takes a bit of time to load up.
You don't need to tell us what you're doing, Rumpus.
Well, okay. I just thought I'm just letting you know that I've just run away or anything. I'll share my screen a second. I've got this to take about 2 minutes to load up. So you can, in the meantime, while I'm
Well, we
loading
couldn't
up
be
my
that
rank, you can
lucky.
load up yours.
Good grief.
It's a very this is part of my web page document, which is about 250 pages long, and it takes about perhaps 2 minutes. It's on my faster computer here, so it might load up in about a minute.
Oh, you got
This is beyond pathetic. Just my comment on
You were
it.
all right. Yeah,
Enjoy.
So the simple point that we're making here, Rumpus, is that
bring
you
up
were
your
aware.
document then.
Hold on.
Stop moaning about me not bringing up mine. Bring up yours. Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
Right. So you were aware.
How long
You
did
were
it
aware.
take you to bring up your document then, Ranty?
I've got it up right now.
Mm-hmm.
So what are you on about?
Where
Do you want me to
is
share
it?
my screen?
Where is it? Where is
So
it?
you can see it. There you go.
Oh, okay, it has loaded. Here we go.
There you go. So there's my composite that I did.
Let's have a look. If it's the one you did originally, it's the most embarrassing thing, I think, in 11 years. Here we go. This is the uphill one, isn't it? Yeah.
So here we go. This is the composite that I did.
Scrolling to the right, people.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Seems very
Going
well
to the
aligned. That's nice.
Let me just carry on.
This might be revision 3, but the first one was absolutely right. You should notice
Hold on,
here.
hold
you draw
on.
a horizontal line, you'll see that it's going uphill.
Draw a horizontal
Yeah,
line.
draw a horizontal line, this Ranty, and you'll see you've got it going uphill
Hang on.
because you're
Just
incompetent.
let me finish. Let me finish going across here. We're lining up the mountains, right? And we're lining up the bottom here.
Yeah, I
Right.
had to correct you. I had to help you do this.
Hold on.
properly.
No, you didn't.
Oh, I did. I had
No,
to
you
put
didn't.
myself
You didn't
and
do anything of this.
I
did
did.
all this myself.
Oh yeah, but only because we criticised the various. We told you Geostrieber and I told you the 3 major errors you made.
There we go.
And right here we
Looks
go. Here
all
it
right
is.
to
No,
me.
to the right, to the right, to the right. See, it's already going uphill. See, notice the change in the angle of the black thing from the left. It's now.
Right.
If you draw a horizontal line, you will see this is going
Yep.
uphill.
And you do realise that Sleeping Warrior was the person who filmed this on a camera from the
Yes.
beach,
Yes.
and I was taking still shots
Yes.
of what his camera
Yes.
was showing.
Yes,
So if
that's
he had his
exactly what I
camera hold on. So if he had his
And I did the
camera ever so
same.
slightly tilted, you dimwit,
No,
then that's
if you
what
do it
I would
properly-
stitch together.
Well, you're an idiot then
You
because he changed the angle of each moron. You have to realise that's what the camera's
You
doing, and then you make
absolute
adjustments for it.
Burk.
You didn't do that.
You
It's going
absolute
uphill.
Burk.
It's going
So-
uphill.
so
We
let
can
me-
all see this. You see this?
Yes.
It's going uphill. You
What's that gonna-
moron.
what's
Right,
that
now
gonna
let me
do?
show you how it's
He's going to
done.
have a heart
Hold
attack
on, you
in a
want to see
second.
my
He's not
he
even
is.
taking
I
a
know he is.
breath.
So
He's going to lose it.
So let's go.
His whole
Let's
head's
go.
going to explode.
It's going uphill. I mean, it's incredible. You've still got this going uphill. You still haven't fixed it.
So here we go. So let's look at the inferior mirage. Can you see
Yeah, we
this
know it
down here?
exists. Yeah, we know it exists, Ranty. No one's disputing that. No
Yep.
one's disputing
Oh my
the
God, Rumpus,
no
did
one
your
is
mouth ever
disputing
stop?
the existence of the inferior mirage, but you
So
didn't spot
can
it.
you answer me this question then? So is the bottom of the lighthouse hidden behind the inferior mirage then?
Yes, the inferior mirage is obscuring the bottom light carries on down underneath that black line. Yes, the real one. Yeah.
Wonderful. So this is the inferior mirage that's blocking, and it's not the Earth curve then.
Oh, it is blocking the bottom. Well, whether it doesn't, the bottom of the lighthouse in reality only just goes below because it's refracted up, of course. The bottom of the lighthouse only just goes below that black line in reality. But what you're seeing there is an inferior mirage for the light. And I'll tell you what, Randy, I'll show you what a professional looking analysis looks as part of my
a professional looking one.
Yes,
Right, okay.
exactly. What's something you wouldn't
A
be familiar
professional looking one, right? Okay.
Right, let me
so,
just
to do that for you, Rumpus.
Let me just share my screen.
So anyway, it was the inferior mirage. It was this inferior
No one's
mirage
disputing
over
it.
here.
No one's
over
disputing that, Randy.
here.
No one's
over
disputing
here.
that. You
Let me
didn't spot
finish.
it.
Let me finish my point. When you guys were saying, "Where's the bottom of the lighthouse?" You can see the top of it, but you can't see the bottom. And there was an inferior mirage there. That's what started my interest in finding out why we couldn't see it. Was it because of the inferior mirage? Now you're going to try and claim that you knew that the bottom of this was hidden behind the inferior mirage.
Not initially. I'll admit that I did not know initially. Neither did you. You're just rewriting history.
That's right. I didn't know about it back then, and nor did you're saying you didn't. But you said, you said that you knew about this before me.
Yes.
Right. Which would mean that because I was the first person to start talking about this and was
No, you
getting
weren't.
a lot. Hold on.
You weren't.
Hold on to start talking about it in public.
weren't.
In public
No,
on
you
these
weren't.
debates on Nathan's. Let me
you weren't.
finish. You didn't come on and say, "Hey, I'm a globe earther," and guess what? You see this lighthouse over here? See the bottom of the lighthouse that should be in this area here? It's hidden behind the inferior mirage. You didn't say that.
Well, not initially. No.
No, you didn't say it, did you?
But before you did.
Did you say it?
Before you did, yes.
Did you say
So
you did?
what?
Yes, before
Where?
you did. I mean, how
Where
many
did you
times did I
say it?
say that?
Where?
Right, when I tried to... Well,
Why
Nathan
is that
said-
even? Why does that
Well,
even matter? Who said it first? You're
I've
like
no
a
idea.
He's the one.
5-year-old.
Because
I did this before you.
He's the one. Paige. He's the one who started this competition.
Yeah, you know why?
He
Not me.
saw the pictures first. He
Yes,
might
but
not
he
have said
didn't
it out
come
in
do the
public, but he
analysis
thought
properly
of
'cause
it
he's an
before
idiot.
you did, because they
He
had the
didn't
pictures
do the
before you
analysis
did.
properly
So
because he's
he
an
would have
idiot.
had to have known before
No,
you.
he didn't. No, he
this
didn't understand it. He didn't understand what he was looking at because he's an
What
idiot.
what you're witnessing here is me allowing the rumpus to say this so many times that he can never back out on this, and so many times that we can get a really good 5-10 minute video of rumpus saying that things behind the inferior mirage are hidden, and that's what I've done this for.
I
And you've
discussed this a
literally
year
just heard.
ago.
Yeah,
Ranty,
but
we had
now
a-
you got so
Ranty,
excited about
a year
this.
ago, we had a long half-hour chat on your show discussing
Yeah,
this very
but
issue.
I
Have you
know.
forgotten that?
No, I haven't.
So now you're.
But it's nice to remind everybody. It's nice to remind everybody. You came on the show. You came on the show. You came on the show. You came. You came on the show
what
hot.
happened, aren't you? You're
You came on the show hot.
You're misrepresenting what happened. You're now presenting to
You came on the show
Brandon
hot.
and Paige as
You
though
came on the
we-
show
I've
hot.
never said
This
this
is not
before.
very. This is not a good look
So
for
you're
you, Rumpus.
misrepresenting it. You're misrepresenting.
This is
what's
not a
happened.
good look for you.
No, you're an idiot. You're misrepresenting. I mean, this is deceitful of you. You're suggesting
This
at
is
the
not a
moment
good look.
that I denied this, and yet a year ago we
You
had a
did deny
chat
it.
about this for 3/4. I think we
You
might
said you
even
knew
an hour,
about it,
in
but you
which
didn't tell
I said-
anybody.
I did 2 years ago, but you didn't. You never listened, Brandon.
But you said you knew 3 years ago.
2.5.
Oh, we're getting the high cracking
2.5
voice
years ago.
happening.
2.5.
Yeah.
When
So
I
why did you
read it-
sit on it for 6 months then?
I didn't.
We just said you just told people to sit 2 years ago, but you knew about it 2.5 years ago.
Well, the first
Come on,
analysis.
when did you first tell us? Come on, right, let's spit it out. When did you first know about it?
I think his jaws are very tight.
Yeah.
I
Whose
know
memory's screwing up now? Is it my memory that's bad or your memory that's
You did because you didn't understand what the hell was going on. And
Just because
Miles
you-
gave-
in his
just
brain.
Miles
No,
gave-
You
actually,
don't know what he thought of before. You
I'll
did.
tell you the truth of what actually happened. I started telling people that the bottom of the boats and the bottom of the buildings in the distance and the bottom of the land were hidden behind the inferior mirage. Rumpus then decided to look into what is the cause of the inferior mirage and try to link it to refraction and bendy waves and bendy light waves. And this is what he was doing. This is how he's tried to explain it away by investigating what's the cause of the inferior mirage, not the fact that it hides things from the bottom up. That was my first baby when I first started talking about this on the Flat Earth debate. Right? It was totally new to everybody. And let me finish. And essentially, when I started showing boats half hidden by an inferior mirage or distant land half hidden by a reflection, right? People distance themselves from me, flat earthers included, right? Because let me finish, because they didn't understand what I was presenting, right? Now, you obviously understood what I was saying because then you started investigating it and came out with this refraction. No, let me finish. And it took about. Let me
Are you
finish.
so scared to let him finish, Rumpus? Are you
course
that
he is.
terrified of what he's
He's
saying?
telling me what I did when he knows nothing.
Then refute him after he's finished.
And it took about 6 months before it was finally started to be accepted. I did presentations on Jeranisms, on Globebusters. I did it on
When did you do
Nathan's.
that? When did you do that?
Oh, 2 years ago, more than 2 years ago.
Oh, right.
Go
More,
look them up.
2 or more. Oh, you
Go-
can't pin it
go and
down.
have
Then.
them.
When was that then? So
Yeah,
bring
they
it
were
up. I'll have a
ages
look. Give us a
ago.
link.
I'll have
Give
a
us a
look.
link to
I'll
where
have a
you did that. Give us a link
Hold
where
on.
you did that.
I will. But right now, let me finish my point. Was that at that point, this was all very fresh. It was all very new. That's why they brought me onto those shows to talk about this. And it was all very novel, all very new. Nobody really understood what I was showing. And now people understand it. But back then, it wasn't the case. Back then, I had to fight tooth and nail to win this. And if you're going to turn around and try and jump all over it and hijack my point and turn around and say that you knew all about this all along, then that's just disingenuous and it's
not.
bullshit.
You just misremembered crap, as you always do. The
Nope.
only reason that I was always accepting that inferior mirages existed from even before the Isle
Of course they exist. You can't deny it.
You
But you were saying that was...
You see, you've been going for 5 minutes now, and I've barely had 10 words. Right. I knew all about inferior mirages covering things up before the Isle of Man. But whether or not it was an inferior mirage with a lighthouse was another issue. And The only reason I investigated it for the Isle of Man was because of what the pictures that Miles Davis took about a month after Anthony Riley's first set of pictures from which this composite is made. And he showed that there was an extra bit of the Isle of Man. When you went up, you could see an extra bit of the lighthouse. And that was when I thought, aha, perhaps there is an inferior mirage actually happening. Because initially I didn't think there was an inferior mirage happening on this. But I knew all about inferior mirages coming up even before this. But I didn't know it applied.
Hold on. Where the fuck's Jeranism's content gone?
No, he's taken everything down.
Fuck's sake, I've just gone onto his channel. I've just gone onto his channel then to have a look when I actually appeared on his show.
Yeah, he got 2 strikes.
I remember that. Yeah, it was a
Really?
while ago now.
Right, let me look up Glowbusters then.
But while you're doing that, I'll present you a proper composite here. If you share my screen, you should be able to see.
TrueTube might have a copy of it.
Well, we've reached a lull. Brandon, I'm going to say goodnight because the
How you doing, man?
He's just an idiot.
Doing good.
Oh, here we go.
No shit, driving?
Talk to you later,
Here
man.
we go.
No, hell no.
Thank you.
But anyway, I would
Oh,
like to present my
flying?
Yeah, you can, but let me just get this last point in. Let me just get
Hotel
this last
life
point
or
in.
what?
On Glowbusters on the 11th of
Airbnb,
November 2018, so that was 2 years ago and 1 month ago, I presented a...
Fucking
well,
right,
he's
I feel ya.
uploaded
Remember
a
that
video
smart to
called
get
Flat
one
Earth No Boat
on a
Went
regular
Over the
anyway.
Horizon, where I go
So much
through the
cheaper,
Inferior
too.
Mirage.
Literally half the
Oh,
price.
does that seem painful
Yeah.
to you?
Yeah,
There's
after he
dispensary
took
right
them.
I have had enough.
That's awesome. Fucking right. New Mexico. Dude, I remember I was in
I've just refuted you.
I took a train once from LA
The
to
image was
New York.
taken, you utter twat.
And
Two years and 1 month ago.
3.5 days.
Before that, the pictures
And
that
I
Ranty
came
Riley
back
took
with
the
some
video,
fucking
you
killer
moron.
weed, you know?
This isn't yours. This is my boat.
And I got all this shit like, you know, in
You
like
just said
sealed
that
like, you know,
I was
plastic or
talking
whatever.
about this 2 years ago.
And I had like a pipe. I had
You
like
just
little
said-
like
You just said I was.
I think I had, I forget what I had. I had like 2 pipes, and I was gonna get rid of them
Look
with
at
some
my
hash.
videos on my channel.
And then, like, you know what I mean? So like, I'd open it up and throw the one in the garbage when I was done. You know, at like whatever location.
Taken in
Because
2017.
it was like
Hang on, let's have a look at
2010,
the
so it was like.
oldest,
Check on that date.
Let's see the
I'll
first
never forget.
time.
I'll just. There's so many stories. You know the deal when you're traveling. I'm sorry, I could talk and ramble
You're a
for
year
hours.
afterwards. You're a year out of date.
But
You're
no,
lagging.
no.
But yeah, do you know that
What do you call it? But like, I remember
taken
talking.
from
Like,
a
I sat
video
down
that
next to this
Anthony Riley
lady,
did on
and
the
like, I remember
27th
these
of
cops like
October,
freaked out because I left my bag in the wrong seat, and I was in a car. You know what I mean? One of those situations, and I got the cops around my bag.
First and foremost,
And I fucking go, I go and like, you know, I go and I'm like, hey, no, it's all good. It's my bag, you know, just because it wasn't in the right seat, but like armed, like trained guards kind of shit. You know what I mean? Retarded. Or not armed, but I forget. They were all freaking out. But,
that Piper of yours.
and I'll get to what I wanted to tell you
He said
in a second.
he said that he wanted.
But anyway,
me
I sit down next to
to
this black.
prove
I sit
that
down next to
was
this
on
black lady, and I
Glowbusters
was like,
at least 2
"Damn, this
years
shit's
ago,
crazy." You know,
presenting
I remember
imagery
she looked over me with this
of the
glazed
Inferior
ass
Mirage. I
look.
did things from the bottom up.
She's like,
and I
"Well,
just
ever since
brought
9/11,"
then a
and I was
video
like,
that
"Oh my god, I'm in
Glowbusters
some other
mirrored on
world,"
his
you know?
channel in
Like,
November
what the
2018
fuck?
with me talking about the Inferior Mirage
But
hiding
it
things
was
from the
just
bottom
because
up.
you know
Right?
the way she
So
said
I
it was like, well,
literally
you know,
just proved the
ever
point there
since 9/11,
with him.
and it was just like, fuck me, because it was like hardcore police state. Anyway, coming to New Mexico, I'm in the dining cart sitting with this lady, got my
So,
bag with me
the
with all
first
my
time I
herb and
started
shit.
talking about it
And
was
fucking
on the
in New
14th
Mexico,
of
they
May,
raid the train,
2018.
the cops,
So
like
that
50
was
cops.
2
Do
years
you know what I
and
mean?
7 months
Like
ago.
2 cops to a car, the whole fucking train kind of
I
thing
don't
with
know
dogs.
why he's so concerned
That was
about
my
who came
first-
up with it
And,
first anyway. I mean, what is his
what do you call it?
argument?
But what I didn't
Because he
know,
wants
and
that
what's
to
good
be
to
the
know,
argument.
is that
He
if you're in
doesn't
the
want to
food
have to
cart, they don't
argue
bring the
about
dogs
what
in.
is actually
If you're
being
around
shown.
food.
He wants to argue about who
because they can't
saw it first and you know, who
And
talked about
just
it first.
wild chance for me, but
So here we
you
go.
know, just you know,
Here we
worthy
go,
of knowing
presenting,
for traveling around.
Yeah, but 14th of
That's
May
a stomach
2018
clencher right
was the
there.
first time I presented
Ooh,
the
bro!
boat
Oh, dude, it
with
was
the
so
Inferior
wild.
Mirage
You know
on
what's
it,
crazy,
which you
man?
can clearly see
I'm like,
here, right?
I'm such
You
a
can clearly see
weed
the Inferior
snob
Mirage running through the boat.
that, like, you know,
the
and I
video's
like
called Perspective
only when I'm in
versus
the West
Curvature,
Coast.
the
And it's so
vanishing-
cheesy
the
and cliche,
vanishing
but like
zone
my favorite
puzzle.
part in the world is
Like, 2
actually
years,
Maui
7 months
Wowie.
ago. So this was the first
I
time
don't know
I
if you've
started
ever
talking
smoked that
about
shit.
this.
It's like
In
from
fact,
Hawaii.
it might have even been before
You know what I
then, but
mean?
it's
Like
the first
that
one just picked up now.
motherfucking shit
So
is
there you
just
go.
insanity.
2
It's
years,
one of the
7 months.
greatest smelling
You know, I'm worried
fucking
about
weeds that
Rumpus,
ever
Ranty.
existed, in my
Now,
opinion.
with you,
And I can smell
you
it from
know,
across
going off and doing other
anywhere.
things.
Like, you know what I mean? If
'Cause
somebody
he's
burns
lonely.
that weed,
Sometimes he
I
hangs
know that
around
it's
here.
Yeah,
So
dude,
I know he's
I've
looking
done
for
it.
you.
Like,
I
you know,
can
I've
tell.
done it. Like, you know, I've done it countless
And he
times.
just
Like, I've
kind
done
of,
it
you know,
like, well,
comes
3
in.
times
I don't
at
know.
like, you know,
I'm
pot
worried about the guy.
expos and shit, you know? So, like, you know, just everyone
Well,
smoking weed out back where you could
I
smoke
don't know. He
pot
just
when it
gets
first got
so
legal and shit.
he gets so.
And I've done it a
Right,
couple times. You know what I mean?
here's
Like,
the
is
thing,
that?
guys.
I
Right?
walk
And
right
this
up
is
to the
no word of a
motherfucker
lie.
holding the joint,
He
you know?
wants this
I call it
Inferior
out.
Mirage to be
Anyway,
his
this
baby.
fucking
He
dude
wants
in a
to be the one
train
that says that he
on
found
that
out that
train
things
ride
from
coming back.
that
I'm
are
in like
hidden
fucking
from
Nebraska or some shit, and
by
this
the
nigga is
Inferior
like
Mirage, which is utter
you
bollocks,
know,
right?
hick
If you
dude,
go
white
through,
dude, fucking,
like
you know,
I
was
say,
like,
any of
hey,
my
did we get to
videos from
rapping
way
and shit?
back
And he
when
hands me this
I
fucking
first
thing, and he's
started
like,
talking
here.
about
And it
this
was like
and
a
started
joint that had
presenting
been
it on
smoked,
Nathan's
so
and
it stunk.
Globusters, it took Globusters
But I was
to
like,
get this, right?
I
So
was like,
this
it's
is my
Maui
point.
Wowie.
Oh my God, this
He
has
was
just
like,
proved it, right? Do you
he's
remember I said
like,
to you it took
yeah.
about
He goes,
6
yeah,
months
man,
for it to be
it
started
is,
to
you
be
know.
accepted by the
And so I'm
community,
like, no
right?
fucking shit. I'm
14th
so
of May
stoked.
was when I first
But I'm
started
in like
talking
a
about it,
military
and
fucking
Globusters
vessel,
Bob
like, you know what I mean, on this fucking
mirrored
train.
one of my
So
videos
it's
in
like,
November
you know what I
2018, and
mean?
that's
Well, ever since
exactly 6
9/11,
months
you know what I mean?
afterwards,
And like,
right?
it's
So
like,
it took
oh my
6
god,
months for
surrounded
the
by
rest
people
of
that
the
are
community
completely
to
cool with it,
actually
you know?
agree with what I was saying.
And
Well, the
like,
best
Right?
thing,
So
the
all
best
those
thing
videos
post
that I put out with the
9/11
Inferior
is
Mirage and what we're
most of
doing,
the
and all of
dogs
Nathan's
aren't drug
presentations
sniffing
from
dogs; they're bomb
May
dogs.
2018 to
yeah,
November
that is a
2018
good
when I was
point. But they know what
looking into all
they
this
got
stuff.
multiple dogs,
So
bro.
all that length of
They
time
got multiple
before
dogs.
finally
It's
Globusters
Oh
went
yeah,
and
just
yeah.
said,
one
you know
of,
what, he's got
you
a
know.
point here,
For
it's
like
true, and he mirrored
for
the
like
video, right?
Miami and like
And that
you know what
just
I mean, like
proved
bigger
my
Dude,
story,
New
places.
which is what I
Yeah.
Mexico.
was saying. You know, for
Fucking
those
New
6 months
Mexico.
when I
Yeah.
was showing this, like
Well, that's
boats
because
hidden by
Fucking
New Mexico
a
is like
wicked out
reflection,
there.
right? People
yeah,
didn't get it.
it's like a
They didn't
highway of
understand what
drug
they were looking at. They
trafficking.
thought I was showing proof
Yeah,
of
that's what
verdict.
that's what made me when you said New
You know
Mexico.
what I mean?
Oh yeah, I
That's what I
remember
think
that.
of.
I
Is like
remember
being in
that.
that
Those were
dining
some
car, like having a
very
heart
good
attack.
discussions and very illuminating stuff back
Now
in the day.
I'm giving a
Definitely
speech
remember that.
actually
Honestly,
about
Randy, you did
cannabis
it
banking
numbers. You
tomorrow
did it numbers
to
of times. I
cannabis
remember back
to
on Nathan's show
like credit unions
when
and
you'd
all
bring
this
up
other shit.
Really,
shoaling
dude.
and tidal
Yeah.
balls and all
Yo,
these
dude.
things that
Hey,
nobody
yo.
had heard
I
of.
work.
But you'd been off ferreting around, digging up
check it out, man. We just
information
opened up a fucking
on bloody
dispensary right
ocean
across from
currents
Yankee
and God
Stadium.
knows what. And so
Oh, dude, you're in New
over
York?
time and months, you know, I think you
Give me
educated
I
lots of
got
a
people on
all
lots
my
of things
things are in
that
New
were
York, and like
factors
I'm
in
not in
what
New
we
York,
see
but
and don't see.
yeah, man.
So,
It's
and
called
it's no
Con
blow
Bud, dude.
smoke. It's just
Look it
like
up, bro. I'll fucking hook you
we're
up
in
with
amongst
them.
all this
You'll
stuff,
be treated like
you
a
know,
king
at
if you go
the
there.
pointy
I'll
end of
make
the
sure of
spear.
it.
So.
Oh,
Yeah,
dude,
and the thing
I
is,
would.
what Rumpus
I
wants, he
want you to
wants to
visit.
be the
That's
first person to
we
say
do
that
No, no, hey,
he's
dude.
been able
And yo, and I tell you what, man.
demonstrate how the Inferior Mirage happens
So here's the
and
deal.
what the
Like we used
effects
to have
of
this
that
company. We
are
used
at
to
the
make
end
bed
of the
sheets.
day,
We
right?
used to fuck with
Right,
High
sure.
Times like
I was the
crazy. And,
first
you know, I'm
person to
published
say
actually in High
the
Times
bottom
with
of
our
things are
little. We had the
hidden by a
Ballers
I have
bubble.
an
package.
Rumpus
article.
wants to be the first
Yeah, I
to
have an
say
article
that
in High Times
this is the reason why things seem
about
to be
what I'm
hidden
doing
by the
now.
bottom of it because of
It was out
refraction
in
and
like
blah, 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 blah,
23.
blah, and things can get hidden.
Nice.
But now what he wants to do is he
Yeah,
wants
20.
to jump
You
in
know,
and
like
say
we
that
were
he
with
was
them before
also
they kind of got
the
bought over.
orchestrator behind it
Do you know
all.
what I mean, or
To be
something
the
happened
first
like where they
person
got
to say
like
that
because
he
we were real
thought
tight
that
with some of the
that,
people that were in it, like
he
the
was the first
OGs, and
person to
then
see
they
that the bottom
soul
things that
type.
hid
Oh
behind
yeah, yeah.
the Inferior Mirage, which
it
was
went from
bollocks.
like
Some
Right? Because when I
basically
first
a
started
stoner
talking about it,
magazine to a real.
I
Do you know?
got
Hey man, do you know who
pissed
Danny
for about
Danko
6
is?
months from
You
globe
know who Danny
earthers, flat
Danko is?
earthers, and everything. Honestly, I felt like
I
it so
think
many
I
times,
heard
but
the
I was
name.
so determined
Yeah,
to
man.
It's
prove
not
my
like that
point
redheaded
that I
dude,
pressed
right?
on and
Is he
pressed on and
No,
redheaded?
pressed on, and
no. He's
eventually,
one of the
eventually, it was
first
accepted.
cannabis
But I could have quite easily
grower writers from
succumbed
like the
within the
80s
first
or
few
what is it,
weeks
like
or
90s
month
and shit.
and just
Look
said,
him up,
screw
Danny
this.
Danko. He's
And
he's
then
a
it
friend
would
of
have all
mine.
been lost. Nobody would have talked
And a
about
fucking
it.
legend.
Right? It would have all
And like
been
a
gone,
grow
and Rumpus
expert.
would have just
And
sat
he
there
wrote a book
doing whatever he's
actually.
doing. But now what he's trying to do is he's trying to
About how to grow
steal
pot, and like
the
he's just
the
brilliant.
work that I
He's been
did
growing since
and say
forever,
that
man.
he already knew this.
Danny Danko.
Dude, so
And that's bullshit.
we have
It was
a
not the case.
farm up in
I know
we have
what went
a
on. I
few of
know
them,
how I
but
was
the one in
persecuted back then.
Michigan.
Well, what is he going to get a Nobel Prize or something?
smelling.
I mean, what is he so
selling
concerned about?
smokable flower. It's the worst
Well,
business
because
in
he's
the
a globe
world.
earther and he
So
wants to
we
be
flipped
always
it, and
right.
we
You
brought
can't have
in
a
a
flat
guy that just
earther
basically rips it out
have
of the field
something
and
that's been
basically does
proven
live
to hide
resin.
things from the bottom up without the
Like
globe
no
earth already
drying,
knowing
nothing.
it. Right? That's the simple point.
But what he
Because
does
if you
do is he
accept that a
puts it in the
flat earther
freezer.
got there before you, and
And
a flat
I didn't
earther actually
realize that
proved
you
this
put it in
before
the
a globe
freezer, you
earther
get
did,
like a
that would be
extra like
devastating to the globe
6-7%
earthers. So
yield.
he's trying to hide
And I
that
was about
point
to
and say,
break
we already
his
knew about
neck. I
this.
was like, "You destroyed it!"
Right? So that it's not a win for flat earth. That's what he's trying to do.
Hey, you'll have to forgive me 1 second.
He's
I'm
trying
busy
to
for
rewrite
just
history,
2
and
minutes,
it's
brother.
bollocks. I've argued with this before
worries.
because I was at the, like somebody just said, I was at the tip of the spear. I know what I went through though in those months, right? I know because I was out there every fucking day showing this. And I was the one talking about it. And I was the one sitting up for 12, 14, 16 hours every day looking into it and researching it, right? And I know what I was getting, the grief I was getting from flat earthers, globe earthers, the ridiculing, the people unsubscribing. Nobody liked me talking about this on either side, right? Because we didn't talk about refraction back then. People hated the idea of the word refraction, right? But I was showing this shit, and people thought I was showing proof of a globe. And that's why I got the nickname Great Globe Prover. You go out and you show a boat going over the curve. You know what I mean? Because I'm showing the inferior mirage because nobody else fucking did it, right?
Right.
And I'm not having him come in, and it's like, you know, when, what is it called? Stolen valor, right? It's like stolen valor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see how that could piss you off, but no one believes him, Ranty. No one believes anything he says, and it's a win for Flat Earth every time he opens his mouth.
Yeah, I fucking went. I literally went through this, right? And it's like stolen valor. So when he comes in to try and steal this, and it's not even the point. I don't care that I was talking about this before anybody else, but I care that the fact that he wants to come in and then take credit for that and stamp all over me when he suffered none of the abuse I did or none of the bullshit that I did. I suffered that. I went through that, right? And he's trying to claim that for himself. So I understand this stolen valor shit, because this is just like what he's trying to do. And he can, honestly, right? He could, right? If he wants to talk about what's the cause of that, sure, he can argue that light does this and light does that, and that's why we're seeing this. That's fine. But he wasn't the first person to start talking about that. This is why the bottom of things are being hidden, right? He wasn't that first person. So to come in and do, that's no, not on my watch.
Yeah, I get you.
And I'm passionate about that because it's just, and I wouldn't have been, but I had to go through so much to get this out there, right, before it was finally accepted. And I'm not having him come in and just stealing that.
They still to this day say you show the best globe proof and shit, talking that shit.
Yeah, that's like the 15 degrees and Jaren's. That's interesting. Those are the three things that they love to bring up.
Yeah,
it's annoying as hell. They're just trying to annoy you, Ranty. I mean, Rumpus is probably putting it in his book. He's going to put it in his book, and he's going to take credit for it. He doesn't want you to sue him for proceeds or something.
Well, he's just proved it, right? He just said that, it was 3 years ago was the first time he said he first, and then he corrected himself and said, no, it was 2.5 years. And then he corrected himself a third time, and he said, no, actually, it was 2 years ago, right? And I said, well, which was it, 2 years, 2.5 years? He said, no, 2 years, right? So you all heard him say the first time he started talking about this was 2 years ago, right? I have a video on this channel, your channel now, Brandon, from May 2018. 2 years and 7 months ago, right? Showing this, talking to me about this, right? I can't recall a single video
I'll have to,
that he can bring up
probably hit you
or a citation of
DM or
anywhere that
whatever.
he's presented this, saying that this is what's happening. The bottom of things are hidden behind the
Okay,
inferior
cool.
mirage.
We got
If you
it.
can do that May 2018, great.
Yeah, hit me on.
I know he can't.
Yeah, dude.
The first time I ever
we were
heard
making
him
like
do
bed
that
sheets
was
for a
on
little
this
while.
show about a year ago when he came on and he said,
like doing like different shit like that, as away from the cannabis style stuff, like getting
mirage
into.
doesn't hide anything.
There's just
I've
a whole
always said
liquid
that.
That's
shit.
a crock of
And
shit.
yo, check it out. We're doing this thing. It's a
the time I heard
jiu-jitsu
it, and I was like,
competition.
I put
Look it
full
up, man.
down
It's
then,
called
and I said,
Chronic
that's a crock-
Combat.
That's a crop of shit. That. No.
So you smoke a bunch of pot and then fucking roll jits.
No, because the Globers were adamant that where the inferior mirage is where the.
Oh, look it up, bro.
The
They've already done a bunch of things.
And
I don't know
was one
how.
of them.
I haven't like been in
And
too much
to
contact
just
with
come on
the
a year
people,
ago
but
and try and claim
I
that
know
he's
they're running
always
that.
known
Like,
that this was the case.
they've
That
been running
just
it for a minute.
infuriated me.
Do you win money?
And he still does when he comes. in
You think you win like
that's why I just wouldn't shut up
like a
talking.
pound of pot and like
When he came in and he was just
and, like, some
talking
cash.
constantly over me.
Oh, how much?
So at least let me finish.
I don't know actually. Probably like I don't know. I don't know why I feel like $1,000 or something like that.
Pretty much everyone, both sides of the argument, know that. So
You know what I
everything
mean?
is
Like nothing too
credibility.
heavy duty. You know what I mean? But we've had some
in the
high level
basement,
dudes show up.
it's
You know that
the idea
fucking?
that
I don't know the guy. Are you into
I mean,
jiu-jitsu?
by all means, have a shot at him, but
No,
don't get
I
too
did
stressed
my.
about it.
It depends. Is there like weight classes? I can just keep the guy away from.
It's kind of like it's just.
Oh
like
yeah,
golden
no.
valor
This is
sort
like
of
higher.
thing,
I mean, these are high
you know,
level
'cause you can
jits guys.
understand if
Actually,
somebody's
like the one
been
dude.
in a war zone.
This one.
and seen,
This one
you know,
kid
an
actually. I don't know if he rolled in one of the
experienced
events yet, but he was
real
at one of the
grief
events. We
and
interviewed or my
real
people. We
pressure
interviewed
and
him for
etc.
a
like
thing.
that at the time. Now, I'm not going to claim
But
that
he's this
mine is
fucking
anything
youngster that was
like
coming
that,
out
but still,
breaking dude's
I have
legs,
to say, you know, I
like
was
being
quite
a
invested in
complete
flat earth, and my
dickhead.
mind was constantly
And
on
like
flat
fucking
earth. So
like
to be
not
involved in
like
that
you know
for
just
6 months,
ripping
it did feel like
hooks,
I was in a damn war
and
zone.
it's just
and to go
brutal. And
through
like
all that shit to get to the
he was
point where
like at
I
the
was like
event,
accepted
and
by
we
people
interviewed
like
him when he
Bob
was
from
there.
Low
But I
Country
forget the guy's name.
definitely
He's
an
like a big fat
emotional
dude,
war
young,
zone.
like say
It was an
17,
emotional
18,
war
and he's
zone.
like competing at the
And
highest
Yeah,
levels
I
and shit.
remember what you were
Dude's a
like
killer.
back then.
He's
It
like
was
fucking
horrible.
300 pounds. This little like athletic
all of us were
motherfucker.
listening.
I
You know,
forget his
we
name.
remember it too.
Anyway, yeah, Chronic
I'm just well, you can fight my battles in the future. Then I just don't want him to steal that.
Yep, cool.
That
Yeah, Chronic
win
Combat. And
for
then the
Globe,
thing I was
because
doing,
it
I'm not sure if
wasn't
the
Globe that
website's up,
proved
but
this.
look up
It was not the Globe that
ibloodyou.com.
proved this. This was the first people to start talking about things being hidden behind Inferior Mirage were flat earthers. They were not globe earthers.
Let's see if the website's up.
There
I
is
know we
no
had
win
like
for the globe, Ranty.
Good.
But I understand
we're
what you're
focused
saying.
on
We're,
this.
we're all clearly on
everybody's
your
focused
side.
on the spot.
Someone sent
Also,
Brandon a
that
super chat.
that video you did where no.
Are you in? You're in
Oh,
Jersey, right?
You're robot in Jeremy.
I'm from Jersey, but I'm not in Jersey. No.
He's dropped off. Yeah, I mean, some of your stuff that you showed, I remember when the optical slant and the dirty air and all that stuff was brought up for the first time, and you had to wrap your mind around it. You're like,
Nice.
wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, I never fucking. You know, I was more
If that's
downtown.
not the geographic edge.
You know, I knew a bunch of dudes
the
that
ball
worked.
Earth, and what is it? Can it be
from Washington
something else?
Heights.
Just the idea.
But I wasn't.
That
I
you
was
could
up in
see
Harlem
a
a little
false
bit,
horizon. That you could see what
That's
looked
what's
like
up.
a
What is it?
hard
Washington Heights,
horizon,
like 170s,
and
right? Some
it's
shit
not
like that.
It's not a real horizon. Was
it's
new
Spanish
to my
Harlem,
mind at
basically.
least.
It's just
and sure the hell wasn't talked about that much until.
No,
in the
it's
early
nice.
days
Yeah,
with
I just it was
Nation
always
Show,
such a
and
because that
you were,
fucking green
definitely
line,
the
right?
driving force behind a lot
I
of
think
the
that's what you
observations
said.
that
I moved from there to like
impacted
96
my
in
thinking for sure.
Riverside. And then
Jeremy
I
said
got
no boat.
No
No
shit. My buddy used to live right over on like
You know,
9,
that's
like somewhere
the
right in
whole-
there, dude.
That
On First
video
Ave.
that I did, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
like
I stand
First
by that
Ave. And
to this day.
where's Riverside?
That was
Fucking
good video.
Riverside's like.
Am I
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think what.
A little
And
bit.
where?
I think it might be better though.
It's right. The place is like right on the park, basically. Like,
But
like
anyway,
straight off the park.
okay. So moving on,
Oh,
I have
oh,
some new
forgive me, you're talking San Fran,
5
the bar.
landing footage.
No,
and this
no,
is
New
gonna
York.
blow your
Okay, yeah,
mind.
okay, sorry.
You
Yeah, no,
guys are
I
going
was just thinking of like
go
First
out and
Ave. I
buy
was trying to
NASA
think of
t-shirts
Riverside.
after
Where the fuck
this
that's at?
and believe in the Apollo
But
moon
yeah, that's cool, man.
missions and be all on board
Yeah, I always
for
like
our
Manhattan.
brave new
But
future.
I started fucking with
Ready?
Brooklyn.
Ready?
All right, let me
I
share my
ended
screen
up
here.
going to Dumbo.
Okay,
There's a
hold
Soho
on.
house down
I
there.
built it up too much and then wasn't ready. One second. There we go.
I saw a screenshot
that's cool.
of their
And my buddy's had a
thing
little.
with all the people sitting in front of their computer stuffs, and up on the big screen it says
What's that?
2018. They had a date from
Post-COVID,
2018 on it,
COVID, New York was fun.
saying it was live from this Changi mission.
It might have been a different Changi. This is Changi 5. I think there was.
Yeah, I
Changi
got out
something
like
else. So
right.
here it
Like
is. You guys see
2018,
it?
I left.
Okay.
All right. This is
So you missed it. It
real
was crazy.
live
Like,
footage
have you ever seen like
from above the surface of the moon.
I Am Legend?
Fuck off.
Yeah,
It looks
yeah.
like cheese.
Dude, it was like literally like that. Like in the city. Like, there was like no cars in the road. It was insane. It was so crazy. So weird. Like the hum was dead. Like it was weird.
Yeah, dude, you know what's weird? I felt
graphic
it like
doom.
I felt it coming. It's funny.
Where's the
I remember I was sitting at a
surfaces?
bar.
I mean, what?
Dude, I'll never forget it. I was sitting in a bar and I fucking.
Right?
It's
It
funny.
is.
I
That
just
is
told
an
this story
insult
to
to
a buddy of
doom.
mine last night. I'm sitting at this bar and I fucking.
No, just
I know the guy who owns
pause
the
it.
bar,
Just
but it's
look
like one
at
of those
this
situations
thing.
you show up and nobody you know
Look at
works
it.
there because you haven't been there in a while.
That is
You know?
so.
Yeah.
bad.
And so like I'm sitting outside this beautiful little
I
spot
mean,
and
come
there's two
on,
chicks are there, dude,
guys.
and I'm hitting on them and just having
Looks
fun.
like a sponge.
And I'm pulling them like hard, but I was literally leaving that
I'm
night, you
ordering
know.
my NASA t-shirt
And I'm
right
like,
now as we speak.
at the end of like finishing my beer, I'm kind of like, I was
That
like,
got
so I was
you,
like, do you
huh?
guys?
That
So I was
won
like,
you
do you
over.
guys love love Trump or
Do you know what I find
what,
interesting,
you know?
and I'd like you to pause it there,
You know?
is that the
Oh, bro,
small
this
impacts
bitch
from
stood
the
up and
craters
started
from the
like
small impact
screaming at me
are
within like
essentially the
30
same
seconds.
depth
And
the
she
large
literally goes to
craters
me
now.
like this. She literally goes, you know, that's
I
some shit
believe
you
that the bigger
say after
craters
you
create
fucking take me
next to
home,
the
you know,
smaller
because
craters.
I could have
that
taken him home. You know?
Probably, let's say, 10 times
She
bigger.
literally said
And they
it,
should
you know?
be
And like,
3 or
she
4
like
times
goes,
deeper. You would have
she's like,
thought.
fuck
Why
you,
me?
fucking screaming at me.
Yeah,
and
why?
shit.
Why?
And
do
I
they
was like, I
appear
just
to be
gotta
the
get the fuck. I was
same
like, fuck this. I was like,
depth?
this is so stupid.
I mean, there might be a very small
I'll never
difference,
forget it though,
but
because it's one of the last.
it, to my
Like,
mind,
I remember
a
I got a
bigger
train a couple
impact
hours
should have a
later and
deeper crater.
left town.
I mean,
just
it's
remember
probably
that.
refraction.
This is so retarded.
Yeah, it's refraction.
That's
Gravity.
not a good pickup line
Gravity.
question. That's just
Holy shit, dude!
Looming.
Oh my god, I wasn't. You know, yeah. I mean, I was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so let me finish playing this. I mean, this is just mind blowing.
Well, I mean, it wasn't even. I was, you know, I was like,
Here it goes.
ticket
It's
was
gonna
already
land.
bought.
Okay. we haven't even gotten to the best part.
Hang on, why haven't we got any trails?
Yeah,
Why haven't we got any impact?
I just was like, fuck it, you know what I mean? But like,
a
I'm just,
meteor
you know, I
skimming
don't know.
across the surface and
Half these
creating a
bitches
trail.
annoy the shit out
Why
of
are
me
they all
anyway, dude. Like, I gotta be able to be real about that shit.
full impacts?
Well, that's a good question. We were asking that the other day. I have not heard a good answer to that.
Not a good pickup line. That's for sure. Better would have been.
Here it goes.
What are your
the other
Buckle
one?
up.
No, fuck that. You know what I mean? I mean, like the move is.
All right, we're getting closer.
Like, I know what the move is. That's not it for sure. But like the fucking.
Every time it seems like you're there, it goes some more.
Them stupid flat
There we
earthers,
go. I think we're on the
like
ground.
that. It's a good pickup.
Nope. Still going. Here we go. It's like one of those optical illusions. There we are.
I kind of like how.
What do you think,
Yeah, I used to
guys?
have fun with that.
What just
That was
happened?
always
Craters
fun.
look like they're about 2 feet
That's
across.
not a good one.
From
Oh no, it's a fun one if you're talking shit about flat Earth. But like, I'd always
there a
like,
cut or something? Or
I'd always
is
say
there
like, you know,
okay, why is
you
the
know, I'd always
shadow?
make. I've heard about these stupid flat Earthers, you know.
Shadow here.
And then I'd make all
so
like
let's
the
look at
logical
shadows.
arguments for
So
flat Earth.
we've
You know?
got the shadows in the little craters in the center.
You know?
Left.
So like, it
and
was
we've
just
got
fun,
the
you know. 'cause you can-
shadows of the lander.
Yes.
Right? Is that
Don't let
it
in
know
the
it's
right position? Do you think?
Chicks don't give a shit anyways.
Could be. I don't know. You'd have
Either
to.
they like you or they don't. Right?
Hope they're not that incompetent that they wouldn't get
Or
the
you're
shadows
rich.
right, but you never know.
That don't work either, man.
I suppose it's a bit difficult to know without
Either
actually
they like
seeing
you or you
the
don't.
We used to
shadows.
I feel,
I was
you know,
just
half the
looking at where
time.
the shadows
I
were
mean,
inside the craters.
That ain't.
Right. Now, when are they
I
going to
remember
give
we
us
used to
some
party with
pictures
one
of
dude that worked
Earth?
on Wall
I mean,
Street.
they went all the way to the moon.
Oh man, a buddy of mine used to just get him to
And
take us out,
so
and we just
far,
buy drinks,
what
go to
we've
these
gotten
fancy
back doesn't
fucking
include
bars,
the
have a
Earth in
fucking
it.
blast.
Well,
But he
I'm
just would be
hoping that
like
at some
mad by
point
the
this
end of it
little
all, you know.
thing points a camera at
Oh yeah,
Earth,
go
so
down
we
to
have
meat
something else
packing.
to.
Get a
Yeah, good luck with
butter.
that, mate.
Get a 6-bottle minimum. All just
You're
line
expecting
up
these to
because they want to get in.
turn the camera around and look
And
at the
then
Earth.
4 in the morning
mean,
comes
I mean,
around and they just
they've
haul
literally
straight
got to
off.
turn the camera about 90 degrees, mate. Do you think they're going to do that?
Yeah, why would
It's
they
a
do
lot
that?
of
They have
to
to go to
us?
guest
Why would they
house.
put more than
It's
one
a lot
camera?
of work.
No.
It's a lot
Last
of
time
work,
I was in
mate.
the
I mean,
city,
come
I
on.
went to the
Well,
box
the
a lot.
bandwidth
Listen,
too.
they've got to think of the weight.
Oh yeah, I
They've
know the
got to
box.
think of the weight on the
Okay.
lander and the fuel that they're going to use. I mean, putting an extra camera on
That
that
was like
points
the last
towards
time I
the
was there.
you know,
They
too much money.
It was just
have
all
any
it's all
other
around.
video, or is that's it?
Well, we looked at a couple other ones the
Yeah, I
other
think
night,
I
but
don't know
this
if we-
is definitely the
I
most
don't think we
action
played.
packed
I
one.
wonder if we played the box. I used to have a band, and
Yeah,
Did you
yeah.
see the one?
all over.
Did you see the one where some guy,
That's a fun point. That's
some
a fun
amateur
little
from
one.
Earth, supposedly took his iPhone and looked through a telescope and saw it land?
No,
Yeah,
I heard about that. I thought that was a joke. Is that real?
Nah, I just posted it in the live chat.
Okay, well, we're definitely going
it's
to have to
incredible.
take a look at this.
It's only a minute and a half.
Come on now. Okay, so this is supposed to be them looking at Changi 5. There's the moon, I take it. So he's going to look at the moon. Okay. What kind of telescope is that?
I don't know, but bear in mind that the moon's moving. So let's hope he's got some kind of equipment on the telescope that can compensate for the moon's drift.
Absolutely.
Because to me, that looks like the moon isn't moving.
Yeah, it's definitely not moving.
Let's see. I'll leave my mouse right in the center. No, it isn't moving.
Huh, he must. So his telescope must be moving, and what he's using to film it and look through, must be moving to whatever. Yeah.
Oh come on, man!
Nope,
This
it's
is.
down.
Are you
About
kidding
to
me?
touch down.
Are you joking? That's not what we saw.
There it is.
We didn't see that. We didn't see that splash all over, right?
And why is it just a little black dot? I mean, come on.
Give me a break, dude. And we can't look at the Apollo
Why
landing
isn't it
sites?
lit up? Why isn't it lit up? Right? If the surface of the moon is all lit up, right, it should be bright as a button. Why is it dark?
That's so fake. That's fake as fuck. It doesn't even matter. That's ridiculous, right there.
Come on.
Whoever said they took that should be ostracized.
This viral video lab. This is what happened when I pointed my telescope
Isn't it so fucked up
northeast
at like
of Mons
440?
Rumker tonight. I used a professional
it sounded like-
telescope
I
and
think
an
it's like A or
Apple
C or
iPhone to record
something,
the
right?
footage. Too impossible to be true.
It was actually dictated by the Nazis.
So he's just so he's got no other equipment other than a telescope, basically. So if you've ever tried to film the moon from a stationary position with a tripod, but the time that you actually set it up, I've done this with the P1000, right? You set your P1000 up, you zoom into the moon, and the moon is crossing across wherever you've zoomed into. So the moon is definitely moving. So the way that he had that then, there's no way that it could have been filmed unless he had some kind of motion tracker thing on the camera as well to tilt the, to compensate and follow and track the moon, right? So just to say that he put he filmed it with his telescope without it moving, the moon isn't moving. He's just, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
That might have been the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen.
Let's see. I don't see anybody in the chat defending this either. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is a prank because I see the comments in the chat, and he said it just landed an hour ago, which is 20 hours after you posted this video. So I think this guy, whatever this channel is making stuff up. But yeah. So this isn't real.
What's he called? Oh, man, it's in the Discord, isn't it? Maybe you should link the Discord up.
They're just making stuff up. Come on, that's not like Globers.
Never.
I wonder how many people saw this and thought this was real, though.
Yeah, probably a lot.
Yeah.
All the Globers.
Did they really?
Yeah, that's who sent that to me.
Are you serious? A Glober sent you this?
Yes, they said that was proof.
Oh, this is clearly fake. Wow.
Oh, come on. So wait a minute. So a Glober sent you this and said this is proof. So, but I've just gone through why it can't be, because first and foremost, right, to get that quality of, I mean, how big's the lander? I mean, do you realize how
exactly?
Do you realize how zoomed in you would have to be to the moon to capture that lander as that size, right? Literally, if you didn't have something compensating for the movement of the moon, all you would see is a very fast moving moon, right? That's what you would see as he's filming into it, because the moon would be moving that fast. You'd be zoomed in that close that the moon would be just going past a rate of knots, right? And you wouldn't have captured that stability like that.
Even if you did have a tracker on it, wouldn't you still see a little bit of movement?
A little motion, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Also,
yeah, but still, this is stationary bollocks.
Brandon made a good point, though. If you can see that, how big was that thing? Why can't we see the Apollo landing sites?
Oh, it's like lemon size. It's not huge. This would have to be so big.
Wait a minute. Where's Wally thinks it's real? Wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm
Where's
gonna
Wally
stop, brother.
Professor
I'm talking to you, man.
think it's real?
If that's like,
like
available to
I'm talking against him.
is what kind of technology
Please.
should like actual organizations have that would be able to give us crystal clear pictures of like the LEM and thing?
Exactly.
They say the Hubble. They say the Hubble one, you can get a picture of the landing sites for the Apollo missions. But this guy had a telescope that can.
No.
So if you say that the size of the object that we're looking at is about what, let's say 500ths of the area that he's able to film through, right? 1/500th, and then you scale that back, right? You'd be able to calculate how fast that moon should be moving as he's filming for what? How many? Is it about a minute or so? So he's filming the moon for about a minute, and the moon doesn't move a single smidge, right? Not a smidge. Doesn't move anything. But he doesn't say that he's using some kind of compensator for that tripod to change it. So right there and then, where's Wally? You debunked. Same with Professor Phil Bell.
Yeah, Wally says
nobody can do that.
Did you not see the amateurs hacking the data from the Chinese lander in the way to the moon? I don't know what you're talking about, Wally. Why don't you link it? But,
maybe the hackers were the secret service pretending.
And Phil,
why doesn't that
Phil
guy
says, as if you're talking about this, do you know the motion of the moon is in tidal lock with the Earth movement?
Is this guy for real? Do you realize if you point your camera? Oh, it's Professor Phil just said that, right? Listen, oh my god, right? You do realize that the moon moves faster than the Earth, apparently, right? Yeah. That's why it's in a different position every day, every morning, every evening, right?
Yeah. Have you ever tried to film the moon? You have to continually move your camera. What do you think EQ mounts are for, Phil?
Duh. Oh, this is terrible for Professor Phil.
I mean, I asked Phil if he stands by this footage. He hasn't said anything, but Wally clearly thinks this is real stuff here. That's embarrassing because clearly this is fake. I mean, this is a prank here.
Yeah.
How dare you challenge the professor?
Listen, I filmed the moon with a P1000, and you don't get anywhere near as close as you would need to see the lander land like that, right? In other words, the P1000 is probably 1/20th of the equipment that you would need to actually zoom in that close to actually get to see the lunar lander land on the moon, right? That probably isn't even accurate anyway. It's probably far greater than that. But if you said 20 times stronger than the P1000, and when I zoom in with the P1000 to the moon is moving very fast.
Yeah, it's hard to keep your camera on the damn thing. Yeah, exactly.
You have every minute or so, the moon disappears from one side of your P1000 when you're fully zoomed in to the other side. It literally goes right across the screen, the whole screen, all the way across, in about a minute, maybe 2 minutes or so, from one side to the other. So if you imagine that you zoomed in 200 times further than that, what you'd be seeing would be moving so fast, you wouldn't be able to focus on one little part like that to track something.
Not to mention, I've heard them say that the Hubble couldn't zoom in on the Apollo sites. There's not a telescope on Earth that could do it. But apparently they didn't know about this guy.
I mean, listen, I mean, this is legitimately, I'm not saying that this is faked by the space agencies. I'm legitimately saying that this is a prank. This is a joke.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be.
That's not real, yeah.
And Wally, I mean, tell me, please, that you don't think this is real, buddy. I mean, come on, man. Let's see what Phil says. I don't know. Last night I was in the meeting with Chandrayaan 3 crew and we poured over hundreds of photos supplied to us. This was not one of them. We will have our own in March. Yeah, he's always pushing his Indian space stuff, which we've had quite the fun time with.
Look, one image is not a video. This was a video where he films it for about a minute or so, and he's filming on one part of the moon, and you see the lunar lander, or whatever it is, come in and land, right? Now, he wouldn't be able to do that because it's a video. It's not an image. He'd be tracking the moon. He would have to track it, right? And, I don't think there's an EQ mount out there that could track like this and get it so stable. And he doesn't even say he uses an EQ mount. He just says he uses a telescope and an iPhone.
With an iPhone.
Basic.
Yeah.
Well, if he's got the iPhone 12, I mean, that's going to...
Yeah, it's got 3 cameras. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what if we got.
Well, anyway.
Now Jose's not buying it. Kudos to Jose for not buying the moon stuff. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's just fake right out of the bat. It's just it's just it's so fake. It's unbelievable.
Did you see this stuff, Ranty? There is. Let me get to the actual footage in here. This is pretty funny stuff. Here it is. I think this is it. This is the ascension. There it goes. Pretty good, huh? They didn't put very much out. They put a lot of CGI out, and they only put short clips out. I think this might be not enough to really get people excited. But I know NASA's definitely watching because they got a lot of work to do for their Artemis mission. They're going to have to come up with some really good stuff. And we'll see what happens. But that's that. I got a image from Robert Gillies, a viewer of the channel, and he did kind of a vanishing point extrapolation, I guess. I don't know what you'd call it. You guys should still see that in the Discord, but of this picture that we've been looking at, you'll recognize the red squares just to show how it's less spaces or the same amount of spaces and less area on the photograph. And now he ran these parallel lines out, these are roads, out into here, and his contention is, well, it goes up to the sky, so must be a globe. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Then he's got something, I didn't completely understand this. Yeah, this doesn't really, I don't know what this means.
With the lines, why did he draw them all the way up in the sky?
Well, he's just taking the vanishing point and saying the vanishing point should meet on the horizon if we live on a flat plane. This doesn't meet on the horizon, which he can't see the horizon in this photo. That's the whole flaw that I see. And he's saying, well, it goes up in the sky. That can only happen on a sphere or a curved Earth.
Yeah, Dr. Phil was trying to use a video or some kind of photo on 24/7 the other day where you couldn't even see the horizon. All you can see is the cloud cover, and it's like.
So I guess
why
my
would you... Go ahead.
So no, I was just gonna. I'm looking at these lines, and I'm just thinking, I don't know of a single roadway, let alone 1, 2, however many roads that is, that has a length of, well, from that altitude, a cruising plane, let's say 200 miles to the supposed horizon. So we've got to assume that we have 200 miles of straight road in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 roads. 10 roads, 200 miles in length, all pointed in the same direction that are all perfectly straight. Where's this guy got these roads from?
Well, he's not so much about the roads. He's just using that as parallel lines in order to draw it out. It's more about where this point meets up here.
Okay. So why didn't he draw the parallel lines not quite so parallel? And why have they ended up in a point anyway? I just don't understand how you got... Listen, I don't understand this image.
Well, it should be, perspective says that parallel lines will appear to intersect in the distance. So you can draw them out to a vanishing point, which is typically on the horizon.
Okay, so why hasn't he just made the point at the horizon then?
Because what you do is you just take the parallel lines and you follow those out to their natural spot, and they should match. They should meet at a horizon. But here's the thing, Ranty, there's no horizon in this picture. The horizon very well could be up here.
Yeah, but my question still remains, which is, how has he determined that this is the correct scale with what he's drawn? Yeah, how's he come up with this formula to say that, oh yeah, based upon these lines here, these green, yellow, and white lines, this is where these lines will intersect. Well, if somebody else did the same thing, what's to say that somebody else did the same calculation, let's say, and suddenly it ends at the horizon that we see?
Well, don't think so much about these yellow lines or the white ones or the lateral green ones. Just look at these green and white lines that go off in the distance. Maybe I'm misunderstanding your point, but that I think is legitimate to take those parallel line or those lines and draw them out. And that would indeed be the vanishing point, in my opinion, based on this. But there's definitely some flaws in this analysis here.
Okay. So what happens if you started off with a smaller scale? So you see the lines that is included at the bottom, right? So that they're quite wide at the bottom, right? Can you see where he's first started it off?
Yeah.
So let's suppose that he started that off 50% of the width. Instead of it being a full width, let's say he started at half the width, right? Where would it end? Where would those lines end? He's drawn 10 lines now, hasn't he?
Yeah, no, it wouldn't matter. All he's doing is taking these roads down.
Oh, it
here.
would. No, it would matter. If he did that half the width, it would end before the horizon.
Like if he had them in the middle here?
So if he cut the width, you know what the width is, don't you?
The width of the lines. Yeah, you in between these lines, or which width? Or this width?
I can't see your cursor.
In between the green and the white lines, or in between the white lines?
I think Ranty is saying if you don't use as many lines.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so let's take away the fact, right? So he's got 8 boxes, 8 boxes at the bottom, right? So let's just use 4 at the same width. Don't use 8, just use 4. Where will, if you then started doing all these calculations on 4 boxes, where would that intersect? That would intersect before the horizon.
No, it would still go to the same point. It doesn't matter how many lines. So you can see if you follow these lines up to here. I mean, they all are going in the same trajectory, and they all meet up here. I don't think they'd meet anywhere up. You can't see any of them meet up here. They should meet at the same point. This right here.
Anybody else got any input on this? Because maybe I'm just not getting it.
Here, I've got.
I don't get it either. I don't.
I've got another image that I'll show you. That's a similar kind of analysis that I did. 1 second. Yeah, but
should get Lemon.
Go ahead.
Should get Lemonbird in here to explain it to us. He probably knows.
Okay, it looks like he dropped off. Okay, I'm just downloading a file. It'll take a minute, but Gleam is really the person who could explain this well. Let me see what he says here. If he has used the center frame, this would be correct. As remember, the point is pointing at about 35,000 feet up. Yeah, so this plane is way up high. So yeah, I think this is correct. This should be the vanishing point. He just thinks the horizon is down here. That's the problem.
Are we talking about the loomed horizon or the actual horizon? You know, which
he is talking
loomed,
about.
like what?
He's talking about this being a real horizon somewhere in here. It's the
Well, if I can make a correlation between some of the stuff that I've shot out on the Channel Islands, I've made the statement that even though we see the water have a limit, and then we think we're seeing the sky, we're not seeing the sky. That is an inferior mirage of the sky. So what that means then is that the water is extending into the distance according to perspective. So you're not gonna be seeing another 20 miles of water. You can't, because it's obstructed by the medium. So what you're pointing out here, Brandon, is if you follow as much of the terrain as you can until it starts to blur, and you continue, that's like saying in my image that the water is ending and you can't see past the water, so the Earth's curving. No, you just can't continue. You can't see the land continuing to go into the distance, so it actually would be that high. That's why they the pilots in their schematics have an apparent horizon that's like an inch above the horizon that they can see, because they know that the medium is obstructing the plane extending into the distance. So they show the pilots, this is where the horizon really is. It's up this high, even though you can't see it, and that's where you fly. Keep that line.
Exactly.
That's interesting. I've never heard that one before.
So yeah, let me tell this just real quick. Let me just tell this. I was flying. I can't remember where I was flying, but it was last year, and I actually just happened to be sitting next to an Air Force pilot, right? So this guy in the middle of the flight brings out his iPad, and he's going through all these schematics. So I'm looking at him, and I'm like, "Hey, what are you looking at?" And so he started telling me about what he does. He is an executive pilot that flies like people like Trump. He's the Learjet pilot. Anyway, so he's showing me all these schematics, and he showed me the schematic of the gauge that has that apparent horizon. And I said, what is that? He said, that's the apparent horizon. I said, well, why is it that high? And he actually didn't know. He didn't have that answer that I just gave you, but I'm sitting there crunching it in my head going, okay, wait a minute. If, based on all that I've seen and all that I'm understanding. So I actually explained it to him. And he just said, well, that's really interesting. I mean, he didn't concede. I didn't bring up flat Earth. I was just trying to plant some seeds and going, okay, look, if this is this and this is this, then this is what's going on. And he was just like, huh. But anyway.
That was a good story.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you ended up explaining it to him. I like that. So this is another, like, a vanishing point. It's a 2D artist thing. You draw in perspective, first person perspective, and all the parallel lines should meet at the same point into a vanishing point, which is a finite distance. That's how reality works too. The vanishing point is a finite distance. All parallel lines will converge as they go off in the distance. Same thing here. Like, you're looking down a hallway. If it was long enough, they'd all converge in the same thing. All the corners, if you drew a line down. Same thing in a city. And then you can see it in real life. In this city here, this is just taking, like, the tops of the building, which are all parallel. The eaves, whatever. The top of this building that's closer, and drawing them all down. And they all meet at the vanishing point, which is supposed to be on the horizon. Here's one with jets, chemtrails, contrails, whatever you want to call it. So lots of examples. Same thing with a bridge. You look down a bridge, etc. So all he's showing here is that there's a couple things. This could be that there is a altitude change.
I've got it. I've got it. Go back to that last image that you just showed. The railings.
Oh, my presentation? Okay.
There you go. So look at the railings there. Anyone, right? So the railings, it all depends on your perspective where you start the line off. So
G'day, Bacon.
Look at the bottom left image.
How you doing? Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah.
Can you see the bottom? So he's not started it from the floor, has he?
I remember a long time ago.
You see that red line that he's got going through?
Yep. Yep.
He started it from the center of the
screen.
Got
a call. I'll be back in a bit.
Right. Whereas if you go back to the image that you presented, he starts it off at the bottom, like at the bottom. Like you see on that bottom left-hand corner there, you've got the bottom board at the bottom with the nail in at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's like that's where he started. He started it off in his diagram. He started it off from back there. But if you look at the red lines in this perspective image, they start it from the center of the screen. Now, if you go back to the image you were presenting originally,
these ones here, I'm just showing the horizon, right? That's what these red lines are.
Yeah, but they all start this perspective idea from the center.
If you look at, like, the railings on the top left one, all the railings go down to meet on the horizon, to vanish at the horizon.
Yep.
Okay. All right, I'll go back here.
You also start seeing.
Yeah, but look at this. He starts it off from the bottom of the screen, and you're in an aeroplane at 35,000 feet.
Well, that's the other
so
thing.
He's not. Yeah, he's not started it off in the correct position.
I don't know.
If anything, he needs to start it off at let's say at least the wing on the top left, if he's going to do it properly.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, since the way the perspective is from this picture compared to the other picture, the previous one, he put it in a location that's a little bit deceiving,
dubious.
Yeah, once you look in or change your view on shit, like look at that GIF I posted with the sunset. It looks like the sun's setting, but then you zoom in on it. Oh shit, it's not setting. You know what I mean? You change your view on shit and it looks different. That's not right.
That's a good GIF, actually. I'll bring that up in a minute. Let's see.
Yeah, you like that? I like that one.
Ed put something in here. Let me see what this is.
Wasn't Randy looking for Travis earlier?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, but we dealt with that already.
Okay, how can the land continue if we see a line suddenly get lighter? Ed says. Ed, you're in here, aren't you?
Yeah.
What's going on there?
What do you mean? What is your assumption?
Well, is it like a snow area or something? I don't see any ice below, so it looks to me like that's the atmosphere, and the red line is the horizon.
Yes, this is the atmosphere. As you go up, you see these red boxes that I put down here. This was just to show how much the space is consolidating into smaller and smaller visual space. So as you get closer to the horizon, this red box right here in the middle, the top red little box with the white squares around it, is going to be just like a hair's width up here. It won't even be a box at the horizon. So you're squishing all that atmosphere, all the particulates, maybe there's fog, clouds, whatever, into that little space. And what that does is it cuts down your visibility. We call it turbidity, water vapor. You can call it a lot of things, but it's essentially the atmosphere is blocking your view any further than that point.
Yeah, but the point is you said it's not an horizon.
No,
it is the horizon, and if the Earth was flat, it wouldn't have an horizon.
No, it's not a horizon. That's the point. It
would not get so light. It would get really dark, actually.
It does get dark. This is dark.
No, I highlighted it even with the words light and dark.
Oh,
Go back to the original one. You can see I didn't edit anything.
I meant, okay, I was thinking the opposite. Yes, it gets really light. It gets really white. You're not getting any information from this area because it is blocked.
Yeah, but then it should be really dark and not.
No, it shouldn't. Why should it be really dark, Ed?
Yes, it should, because the land continues.
It is dark in the sense that you can't see anything. It is literally obstructing your view.
Yeah, it's like he didn't. It's like he didn't listen to what I was just explaining. Okay, so this.
No,
is
Travis. You talked about water. This isn't water.
There's not water in the atmosphere, Ed.
This is land.
It's okay.
Well, it's not land.
Ed.
If you look at the word dark, and you look above the word dark, before you get to the line that you've put across, the red line, if you look between the word dark and that red line, you can't make anything out. You can't make a single thing out. You couldn't make a tree, a house, building, nothing. You couldn't make anything out between that word dark and the red line that you put in for where you think the horizon is, right? So why...
So is that the ocean then or something?
All right, but why are you saying that that's the horizon? Why have you claimed that that red line is the horizon when you can't see anything?
Because that's where it starts getting light. So there's only atmosphere and not land.
But I've just explained.
Because the land doesn't continue.
Yeah, but I've just showed you how if you look at the word
the land
dark...
does continue.
If you look at the word dark and you look above the word dark, you've got an area there of at least a couple of centimeters at least before you get to the red line. And you cannot see anything. It's all misty. And if you've ever looked through a cloud, you're in a plane at 35,000 feet, and essentially you're looking through a lot of atmosphere. You're looking through clouds, low-lying clouds, distant clouds. It builds up. Eventually, you don't need a lot of cloud in a lot of area to stop you seeing for any length of distance. And what you're seeing here is just a culmination of all that cloud just creating a blanket so that you can't see through it. That's why if you look at the ground, you can see on the ground for a certain distance, and then it starts to get misty, it starts to get foggy, and then it fades out, and then it disappears, right? That's the reason you can't see anything. And the fact that you can't see anything...
a shitty camera.
And the fact that you can't see anything means that you can't determine anything from this image. I'm sorry, but you need a better image, firstly.
Well, that's fine then.
And secondly, you've put the red line in saying that this is the horizon, but there's no proof of that. There's no proof of that in the image. You can't determine that that's where the horizon is because you can't see anything.
Well, that's very interesting because you didn't say the exact same thing when Travis spoke, and it applies perfectly.
When Travis spoke, what do you mean?
Hold on. When Travis said all these things about refraction and water and all these things he likes to say a lot, you didn't address it and tell him, well, we can't determine anything because yada yada yada, what you just told me.
There's a whole bunch of things going on, but the most evident thing that's going on here right now is the cloud that you're looking through. You're at 35,000 feet, And if you know anything about flying in a plane, you go through low-lying cloud, and then you go a little bit higher, and then you encounter a little bit more clouds. There's different levels and different heights of different types of cloud that you go through. And a distance of 35,000 feet in altitude, it's around about 200 miles or so to the horizon, something like that. So have you ever thought about how much cloud you're going to be looking through from 35,000 feet for 200 miles before you get to your horizon? That's not our horizon, that's your horizon.
Right, okay. Well,
how
then,
much cloud are you looking through? What is fog and what is mist?
But you're
Fog and
missing the
mist,
point.
hold on, just a minute. Fog and mist are low-lying cloud. The cloud that lies, that settles on the ground. All you're doing is you're taking yourself into the clouds and you're trying to look at something 200 miles away through fog and mist. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, so Ranty, you told me that I can't determine anything from this picture. So how come you can or Travis can?
Well, I'm determined that we can't see anything. That's a statement of fact.
Well, yeah, all right. But then why did you tell me all this other stuff then?
I'm telling you the reasons you can't see forever. You can't see forever in a plane at 35,000 feet, 200 miles away. You can't see forever. Sometimes you can see a very long way, but the majority of times you're looking through a lot of cloud, and this is just one of those typical everyday days that you're looking through a lot of cloud, and that's why your perspective is going to show you a drop in the horizon. Now, if you are in mist or fog, let's put it this way. If you can only see 30 feet in fog, are you looking down or are you looking straight ahead when you're looking at the ground?
Well, it's interesting that you keep determining all these things.
I just
when
want to ask you a question. Just answer the question. You can only see for 30 feet in fog. You're in fog. You're walking outside. You can only see for 30 feet. Are you looking down at the ground, the horizon, or are you looking straight ahead?
30 feet. If you're looking straight ahead.
Yeah, if you can only see for 30 feet, where is your horizon?
I don't know. Things just disappear or something, but that doesn't matter.
Where is your horizon? Where is your horizon? Is it straight ahead, or do you have to look down to look at your horizon?
Oh, well, that depends on a lot of things, actually.
No, it doesn't. Listen very carefully to what he's asking.
No,
you,
hold
Ed.
it.
It's not a difficult
Travis,
question.
stop.
It's
Stop.
not a
Wait a
difficult
second.
question, Ed.
Wait a second.
If you can only see for 30 feet, and you're a 5-foot man or a 6-foot man, and you can only see for 30 feet, are you looking down or straight ahead when you look at your horizon?
Right. So I can't determine that. Just like you said, we can't determine. Travis, stop. Ranty, you told us we can't determine anything from this picture. So can you stop determining things about this picture?
This wasn't in the picture. This was the thought experiment. If you can only see for 30 feet,
I know because you, Ranty, you move, you move. I know what your question, but you moved on. Yes, but
as soon as you answer it, you're going to answer what we see in this
picture. Please, just let
me
finish.
You know, if you answer this,
are you serious? Can you just let me finish one sentence?
You've got to answer mine.
Yeah, he's asking a question.
Just let me answer then. Let me answer then. Stop interrupting. Oh my God. You already moved on to that without letting me respond to all the previous things you said. That's why I don't want to move on to this topic just yet.
The reason why he moved on is to give you a thought experiment so that you can
White Knight.
Okay, listen, shush. He's asking you now. He's asking you now a thought experiment because he wants you to be able to correlate.
But we didn't finish the previous topic.
I'm not finished.
Yeah, I wasn't finished either when you kept interrupting me, Travis.
Okay, you're not answering his question.
Because he already moved on, and we didn't.
He's asking
we were still at the previous topic. That's the whole fucking point, Travis.
No.
But don't you understand? Are you kidding me? Come on.
I understand perfectly, Ed. He moved away from the previous discussion because he wanted to help you take baby steps.
No, I don't really need help from anyone. So
it's quite clear that you do. So do you need to look straight ahead or do you need to look down to see your horizon if you're in fog and you can only see for 30 feet? Do you need to look down or do you need to look straight ahead?
Can't determine that.
Can anybody else in the chat, other than, was it Jeremy then? Anybody else answer this question that's stumped the globe's premier debunker?
You said we can't determine it because we can't see so far. So how come you can't determine it when it's only 30 feet away instead of the miles away in the picture?
So if you can only see for 30 feet,
isn't that interesting?
Are you looking straight ahead at your horizon, or are you looking down at your horizon?
In your words, I can't determine that. You can laugh about it, but it's your claim that we can't determine that, so we can't determine that.
Can anybody on the panel answer the question?
Yeah, you look down 30 feet. Ed, this is why I won't.
Right, so Travis, you disagree with Randy then about the picture. You're saying we can determine the horizon in the picture. Travis.
No, he just said you look down.
No, yeah, so he says we can determine the horizon and also in this picture then. So, Travis, you disagree with Randy then?
Yeah, we can disagree with each other. We're big boys.
All right, no, that's okay. Well then, Randy.
Well, in actual fact, where you'd be saying the horizon is, your red line is completely out of whack. I mean, it should be beneath the letter, the words dark that you've actually put in, because anything above that you can't determine. And the definition of where the horizon is, it's where the sky and the ground appear to meet. Now, it's quite clear that you can't determine that from where you've put your red line.
You can determine where it gets lighter.
You can't determine anything other than what you can see, so that your horizon would be under the word dark. Right?
You can see the land is dark.
Hold on.
You can see the land is dark and goes into the dark, and then we see it go to light.
Dark and light is not a description of where the horizon is.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, no shit.
In this shitty picture, it is.
No, dark and light is not a description of where the horizon
You can't see a horizon in this picture, Ed. Can you see a horizon in this picture, Ed?
Then where's the
horizon? Can you see a
horizon?
horizon in this picture, Ed?
Then Randy,
can you see a horizon in this picture, Ed?
Randy,
can you see a horizon in this picture, Ed?
Hold on.
Can you see a horizon in this picture, Ed?
In your example,
can you see a horizon in this picture, Ed?
Can you settle down?
Answer the fucking question. Answer the fucking question, and then we'll move on. Can you see a horizon in this picture?
Yeah. So, Randy,
it's not in the place where you've done it. But it's not in the place where you put the red line. Is it?
Randy, hold on.
You've imagined where the horizon should be.
Randy,
but your actual horizon from what you can let me finish. But your actual horizon from what you can determine.
I was actually talking before you interrupted me.
Well, let me finish. The actual horizon from what you can determine where the ground meets the sky would be lower than the red line that you've put in. Right? It's a very simple thing. Very simple concept. Hold on, let me just finish my point. It's the same with the thought experiment with the fog. If you can only see for 30 feet and you're a 6-foot human, and you can only see 30 feet in fog all around you, you're surrounded by fog, you can only see 30 feet, your horizon will be looking down because you cannot see anything beyond that. You have to look at the ground. You have to look down to see where the ground
the
is.
Elephant in the sky.
Look.
The horizon on a flat earth should be in the point where all the lines converges. That's the elephant in the room.
It is, Jose. It is there.
Yeah, that's not the elephant in the room. That's what the discussion was about, Jose. You can't see past this line right here. You cannot see past this right here. This is atmosphere blocking your view. You're not that dumb.
We're taking baby steps with little Ed here. Little Ed's come in and he's trying to tell us what the horizon is and where this red line is and say that that's the horizon.
And how would you determine the horizon in the 30 feet vision?
And we are explaining to him that that isn't the definition of where your horizon is.
But you're not explaining anything.
The horizon is where the ground appears to meet the sky. Now, if you're in fog and you can only see for 30 feet where the horizon is, which is where the ground appears to meet the sky, you would be looking down.
So we're talking about a different picture, Ranty. You want to escape from this one?
No, we can stay on this one because this is the same thing.
But you can't, but Randy, you said we can't determine the horizon in this picture. So how can you determine it in the 30 feet distance
Ed, what's your problem with interrupting people?
That's what you've been doing the whole time, buddy.
No, I'm speaking and I'm still speaking and I keep getting cut off. It's like,
I was speaking and you interrupted me and you're going on for over 3 minutes now. So can I just interject then? because you're going on forever.
It's your show, Brandon. I'll let you deal with it.
Ed, just answer Ranty's question. Go ahead, Ranty. Say the question again, and then Ed, you can say whatever you want.
Well, it wasn't a question. I was just trying to educate the guy about the different, the thought experiment with the fog and what you're seeing in this. And clearly, every single time I get to the point of I've explained the fog, I would then move on to this point, and he interrupts me. And it seems like it's this is why I don't host this show anymore.
He's playing dumb, and he's obfuscating.
Coming in like this. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah,
this
that's
is
why
what
I won't
stresses
debate the
me.
guy.
Why are you playing dumb, Ed?
So can I ask my question then?
Go ahead.
Thank you. Ranty, you're saying we can't determine the horizon in this picture because we can't see what's going on there. Things get blurry and whatever. So if you... I'm not finished. Hold on. So if you're in the fog and you can only see 30 feet in front of you, how can you determine the horizon then? Because there's not like a line that you would see in a clear day. There's still fog and things disappear in a gradient. So where's this horizon then? How can you determine it there and not in this picture?
That is one of the dumbest questions I've ever heard, Ed.
Yeah.
You can't see the horizon in this picture, period.
Then how can you see it in the 30 feet fog
I don't
station?
give a shit about the 30
in
feet.
Gradient.
You can't
No,
see it in this picture. He's on deafen. He's gone. You have to deal with us.
All right. Right. Well, then answer it.
I just did. I don't care about the 30 feet. You can't see a horizon in this picture. You have to imagine one.
No, you don't. You can see it going from dark to light.
All right.
It's visible. It's obvious where the horizon is in this picture.
Where's the horizon, Jose?
Roughly where the line is. A little bit higher, a little bit lower. Maybe a millimeter, an inch, or whatever you want to put it.
That's where you imagine the horizon is.
It's obvious. You can see
it. It is not obvious. No, this is...
Yep, take the lines. Show me the raw picture without that line, and I'll tell you what the horizon is. It's going to be exactly where the line is.
Hold on. You need one without a line in order to say where the horizon is?
Oh, he's going to be right there. He's going to be right there. Where the sky appeared to meet the ground. He's going to be roughly there, exactly in the same point.
How do you know? How do you even know how far away that is, Jose? How do you know that's the right place for the horizon? Here, this is a better picture.
I see it.
Where's the horizon?
Well, how am I going to point it to you if I cannot share it? I'll share it right here.
Hold on.
All right, I got it right here.
Okay.
I got the raw picture from share my screen. Is this tab? This is the image that Ed shared with me without the line, and the horizon should be roughly around here. I can see it clearly. You see my mouse?
No, that's not the horizon.
Yep.
No, that's where you imagine the horizon is.
It's not imagining. It's obvious.
It is definitely imagining it. How far away is that? How far away is that, Jose? Here. How far away is that horizon right there that you what you think is the horizon?
Far.
Well, how come we don't see any Earth curve before that horizon? Why does it look like it's a flat plane up until that what you're calling the horizon?
I don't care. That will be a different topic.
Well, I think if you're going to say that there's a geometric edge that starts at that fog bank right there. I
didn't mention geometric edge. No, I said the apparent horizon is right here.
Apparent horizon.
The antecedent,
it's not a geographic or geometric horizon.
Can I say my sentence then? You asked me a question and I wasn't done yet. You just interrupted me. The antecedent for an apparent horizon is just the geometric horizon, which is roughly around here.
That is so stupid.
And we were talking about the convergence lines that is just following the contour of the Earth. You can draw it. You can do 1,000 of these lines. It will be converging to a point. This is what in a flat Earth the horizon should be, and it's definitely not there unless it's a magical horizon because all this is sky, some kind of a cloud bank. You know, I give you that the horizon is right here. This is the highest I'm gonna give it to you. That's it. You got a problem right here.
Hey, Brandon, if there's any way that you could mess with the levels, you know, if we had a shot of the same horizon with no filter and then an infrared that was going to cut through the haze, you're gonna you're gonna see the land extended into the distance. The shot without the filter, you're gonna have limited
I would
visibility.
love to see land where you appear to be a sky right here. I would love to see something down there.
Jose, where did you hear that the necessary antecedent for an apparent horizon was a geometric curve? Who told you that?
I don't know. It's obvious.
No, where'd you made that up or?
No. I heard that somewhere, and it's beautifully explained.
That's not correct though.
Why is it not correct?
Why don't you explain it to us, Jose?
It has to be.
Jose, I don't understand what you mean. So can you explain what that means? What does it mean?
I cannot just see an apparent bench in front of me and say, yeah, there appears to be a bench right there. So it has to be a bench. It might be a little to the left, a little to the right because my eyes need glasses. So I might not see in the bench in the right position because it's a little blurred.
Why are you talking
but
about
I know
benches?
there is a bench.
Why are you
it's
talking
exactly
about
like the
benches?
horizon. Exactly like the horizon.
No. Stick to your statement when you said the necessary antecedent to an apparent horizon is a geometrical horizon.
The antecedent for anything apparent is a physical thing of itself. Thank you.
So in order for there to be a horizon, you need land.
Yeah, that's all you're
sky.
saying. That's
you need land and sky.
Yeah.
Well, in order for there to be a geometric horizon somewhere in there, you would expect to see some kind of curving of the Earth right here. This looks like it just goes flat straight into that cloud bank or whatever it is. Atmosphere. Convergence. This doesn't look like you're looking down at a ball, first of all, so it doesn't pass the sniff test. Second, you can't see a horizon in this picture, so you don't know where it is. You're just asserting that the horizon is with it. Now you're cutting me off. You're just asserting that you're cutting me off again. Now you're asserting that there is a horizon in there, but you don't know. You're just talking out your ass.
So you are ready to change all the laws of perspective because these conform with perspective. Lines converging, following the contour to a point, but the horizon is a lot lower, but you are willing to change the laws of perspective.
Who said anything that I was willing to change the laws of perspective, Jose?
Yeah, Jose.
When did I ever say that doesn't conform to the laws of perspective? You don't know that the horizon's not up here. You can't see past this point.
Right, exactly.
Sorry, I was I was talking loud.
I think I wasn't going straight.
So anyway, this is a pretty dumb conversation. If anybody else wants to get a word in here on this, go ahead.
Could I?
Oh, you're cutting out.
Could I get a word in?
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Right. Okay. So the last thing I want to say on this is, and this is pretty obvious, is that this is obviously taken from the cabin of the plane, right? So he's in the window. And he's looking out. Now, can you look to the left-hand side in the top corner? You can see the wing of the plane, right? Or something of the plane. It might be the back end of the plane or something. There's something there, yeah? Now, that is higher than where he's taking the camera from. Would you agree?
Yes.
Right, okay. So if that is higher, yet the end point of where this these parallel lines intersect is at the same height as the height of the wing, right? Would that not prove that we're looking up rather than looking straight ahead?
I don't know about that.
If we are sitting in a plane and you've got the plane wing in the top left-hand corner and you have to look up to that, so you know that you have to look up to get to that angle, right? You have to look up to that, right? And then you just follow that line across, and you can see that there's where the convergence point is.
Well, I think the camera is lower than the wing. But I think the wing, because of perspective, is dipping down to about what appears to be eye level to me. Like, I think eye level is somewhere above that white bank. But it's hard to tell. I mean, the plane could be tilted. I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if the plane's tilted or not. The simple fact is that these lines intersect at a point where the point is at the same elevation as the wing, right? And the simple fact is that the wing you have to look up at. So if you're looking up from the plane inside the cockpit or wherever you're looking, taking this image from, you're looking up to the wing, and you're also looking up to the convergence point. You have to be looking up. It's not level.
Well, I think the camera's looking out the window down at the Earth.
Always.
I think they're looking out downwards towards the Earth.
Where the convergence point is where the horizon have to be if the Earth is flat. 100%
If the so let me finish. So if the horizon is where Jose says it is, that you would have to be looking above you, right, Jose?
Ask me that again. Sorry.
So, according to you, then, if you follow these lines, you're saying that it would have to be higher than you. The horizon would have to be higher than you, prospectively.
If Earth was flat on the convergence point, that's what the horizon should be. Always.
Well, higher than you.
It just doesn't add up because it's not flat. That's why you want it to be flat, so the horizon have to be in the convergence point, but it's not, Ranty. That's why you're not seeing.
The wing in the top left-hand corner gives the game away. The fact that the wing is higher than the camera.
The plane could be tilting, could be going sideways.
That makes no difference.
It does.
The plane
so
could
if the plane is turning left, I will not even see the wing. I will still see the land.
It wouldn't make a difference. It wouldn't make any difference whatsoever.
Yes, it would. Yes,
you have two frames of reference. You have the frame of reference from inside the plane, and you have the wing. So you have those 2 points. They are fixed. Hold on.
The plane turning left
Hold
or
on.
right.
Can I get a word in, please? So they are fixed positions. The wing's a fixed position. The camera's a fixed position. It doesn't matter if you're banking, turning upside down, doing the barrel roll, anything. It doesn't loop the loop. It doesn't really matter. Where you've placed the horizon is higher because, in perspective, if you look, it's the same height as the wing. You've placed it higher than the midpoint of the camera, which means that you have prospectively put the horizon at a higher elevation than it should be. And I asked you the question. I said, well, where would it be on a flat plane then? And you've just said that the horizon should be higher than the person. No.
No, what I say is the horizon on a flat Earth always have to be in the convergence point. And what you just say makes no sense because
why would the convergence point be higher?
You spoke for a very long minute. I spoke for 3 seconds. I was interrupted. So what you're saying is, think about this. It doesn't matter if the plane is turning left or right, it's doing a loop-de-loop, then the Earth and all the land will go around the plane that will always be on view on the window. Ranty, that's the most ridiculous thing I heard.
No. It's the arbitrary place that you've placed the horizon in is the same height as the wing. It doesn't matter where what the plane's doing. It could be turned upside down. It could be facing the ground for all we care. The wing could be facing the ground. Where you've put that horizon line is the same height as the wing, right? And because you've got two positions, because you've got
if the plane is turning or not, where the plane is pointing at. It matters.
I give up. I can't
it matters where the plane is pointing at.
Hey, Jose, could you let him finish? Could you let him finish, Jose? 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 Jose, could you let him finish, please? Go ahead, Ranty. He's done.
You're just wrong in this one. He's just wrong in this one. He implies that the wing is just the reference point where you got to throw the horizon.
If he's wrong, why are you so scared to let him talk?
I'm not scared.
If he's wrong,
I'm just stopping him from doing this very dumb mistake.
Talking.
I just gotta stop him to making a fool of himself like that. He's smarter than that, man.
All right, we're gonna go into.
You don't need to do that.
We're gonna go into final thoughts here. But let me say one last thing about this. I'll let other people have last thoughts about this picture. I'll just get my final thoughts. That's what we'll do. So there is no determining where the horizon is in this photo. You cannot see past a certain point. That atmosphere is too dense. It's too condensed of an area visually to see anything. The horizon very well may be up here where this tip is of this drawing that he's made on here with the green lines. We don't know. That wouldn't surprise me. But you cannot see past this white bank here, which is it's atmosphere. So that's my final thoughts. Thanks everybody for joining the panel, and we'll go to Allie B next. Allie? No? Travis?
Yeah, just, simply when we're looking over distance, either aquatic or terrestrial, and we're not dealing with high mountain ranges, so that we just have the extension of the land apparently meeting the sky. When we see the extension of the land stop, I'd like to just, or the water, if you're looking over the ocean or over a big lake, and the water stops, the question becomes, what is causing that apparent limit of the water extending into the distance? It is always going to be the result of the conditions of the medium, affectionately known as the ether band. Everybody drink.
Thanks, Travis. Ed.
Page or hot micing. But anyway, I think you can see the horizon clearly in the picture when the dark land area goes to light, which is only the atmosphere. Well, I guess we'll talk about this another time. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Ed. Global virus foe.
Yeah, I think this is a good show as usual, and I agree that there's no way you can tell where exactly the horizon is. It's just not visible with that kind of a atmospheric condition. But the one thing, weirdly, it kind of, I don't know, maybe it's just the way my eyes are. I wish I might like try to figure out how to copy this picture and then do some drawing some lines on it myself. But I swear it looks like on the left side of those red boxes that you had drawn previously, if you make those perspective lines converge, they converge at a different point than the ones the person who drew the green and white lines drew. So I don't know. I think their perspective lines might be a little bit off, but maybe that's just my eyes. So just something to think about.
Yeah, these ones I didn't slant at all. I just drew to show the area. But
I know you didn't. I was talking about the green and the white ones. The way they slanted, I think they did it incorrectly, but
okay.
It could just be mine.
I'll drop you a copy of that picture. I rock well. Thanks, Global Virus Foe. I rock well. Kid Motorbike.
I came in late. Nothing to say other than it was a good show. Thank you. And I concede the rest of my time to Paige.
Thank you. Paige, you got extra time.
Yeah, great show. Don't really have much to say today. It was pretty normal, wasn't it? Rumpus coming in, Rumpus, and Jose gets triggered, so normal day.
Thanks, Paige. Rakia.
No comment.
All right. Thanks, Rakia. Rob.
Sorry, no.
No comment. Okay. Essie. Bob Dole. Oh, that's it. Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. I'll be back. I'm going to record the after show, whatever goes on. And yeah. Thank you. Okay. Well, I was kind of tired tonight. I was a little off my game, so I apologize if I was a little off tonight, but it was a good show. Some good arguments. Ranty and Rumpus obviously feel very strongly about the issue regarding a Mirage blocking things. And I think those guys are just trying to pinpoint a horizon that isn't there. You're not going to see it. I think that's the problem. The big gambit with these sort of photos, including Mage 2 from Mr. Sensible, seems obvious to me, but maybe I'm missing something. But anyway, everybody have a good night. We'll talk to you tomorrow, Friday night, 5:05 Eastern Standard Time. I may be starting the show off with a simulcast, going over to discuss Mage 2 and other things with Mr. Sensible, so that might be interesting. And if not, we'll see what comes up. So thank you. Thanks for anybody who supported the show, and have a good night.